Good evening. Welcome, connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, to today's live stream. We'll be with you shortly. Thanks for joining us. Stoked to have you here. Good evening and welcome, connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, to today's live stream. I've got my friend, not Brewbear, but Praxiya here. You can see that I need to update my input to say that. But how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Good. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Just got off work here and really stoked to talk with you about the subject of today's build, which is the newly printed Gitaxian Spellstalker. This very scary and very cool, very powerful looking Izzet Blitz commander that looks to be shaking things up a little bit. I brought you on because you had mentioned that you'd done some work on it, and we'd worked on some Spellslinger stuff in the past before. So I thought you were a perfect candidate for this. But before we dive into the deck tech, I just want to check in with you all. Let me know if the audio is coming through clear, and let me know how you all are doing today. For everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. And yeah, I've got my friend Praxiya Mogamesh here. You can see it says Brewbear. We're not gonna pay too much attention to that. I maybe while Prax is working on things here, and I actually need to give you access to this as well. For those of you who don't know, let's see, are you under Prax? What's your username?
Nermon.
MER?
N-E-R. Here, I'll type it up.
Oh, Nero?
Nermon.
Nermon, there we go. Okay, great. I have just sent you a link to that. So what that's going to allow you to do, and for those of you that don't know how to do this, on Moxfield, you can have collaborative deck editing, which is a great tool if you want to be working on a deck with somebody, either through the primer or the cards in the 99. So if you go and you accept that request, you'll actually be able to add cards to the deck as I do. And then let me know once you've added some cards. I'll refresh mine and it'll add those as we go along. But yeah, it's... let's see. You're gonna take a look here and see. We've got some folks joining us. Folks starting to flood in here from all the corners of the internet, whether it's Discord, Reddit, or elsewhere, Twitter perhaps. But yeah, glad to have you all here. Let us know if the audio is coming through loud and clear. But let's hear your thoughts here first. When you saw this commander, and actually before we were talking here, before the start of the stream, we were talking about pre-release. And you said you played pre-release a couple times and that you saw this several times in your pool. That's correct?
Oh yeah, this card was insane. Just there's no 2 mana good removal in the format, so being able to flip it before they can do anything It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about a turn sequence where you would play turn two Kenris Spellspear, opponent wouldn't have removal. Turn three, you would pay the Phyrexian and the three, flip it, and of course, once you flip it, then you've got Ward two. It's actually somewhat shocking that they printed this card into a draft set because at that point you have this thing that's going to run away with the game that has Ward two. So at at an early stage, you play it out, and if it's like a what's it called? It's like a DPS check in a game. Like, do you have the answer to this? No. Okay, because now the ward is going to make it even harder for you to target this thing, and that definitely seems tough in draft. So, what was your record in draft, and what were you playing?
Oh, we didn't even do draft. We were sealed the entire time, and I went 4-0 2 nights. One night 0-4, but I opened $100 worth of cards. So
Oh,
that's my
awesome.
that's my curse at pre-release. If I open a lot of money,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You'll play.
get
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't win.
Yeah, yeah. No, well, I mean, I think that that's a funny commentary, and we can talk a little bit about sealed and draft here because there's actually a lot of connections between a sealed, draft, limited environments, and Pauper Commander. Many of the cards that we play are exactly that. They're great cards in limited, and in some ways that's because we're not playing we're playing a singleton format, so we're always looking for those duplicate effects that give us that range or that quantity that we're looking for, and so when we're in a so the principles of Pauper being a very creature based format where you have to have value engines and card advantage streams that are repeatable. That's something that Alex Ullman talks a lot about in 60 card Pauper, is that you have to have your deck set up. Every main deck in Pauper has some form of significant card advantage, even burn. Particularly like the red deck wins types decks, where you've got your Ren's Resolve now, you've got your Reckless Impulse, you've got the synthesizer, experimental synth. You might even be in Boros to like loop those things. Even if it's a very aggressive deck, you're going to have all these ways to push past the efficient removal, push past the efficient counter spells, and be able to really dominate in a mid game sort of approach. And so when we're talking about the limited environment here, this was definitely a strong one for that. I played limited as well for the pre-release and ended up winning. I think I went 4-0 and 3-1. The first one was on the back of actually a Pauper Commander card that I got two of in my pack. I got two copies of Firja, I think is what Firja. It's Firja, I think is what it is. And I got two copies of that, and I got two copies, all of them foil, so four copies of Invasion of Tolvar. We may need to actually pull this card up here. Let's see, Invasion of Tolvar, which was, oh god, they're all sideways, lovely. Let's see, it's the one that is Orzhov, and it reanimates. Yeah, this one, Tolvada. And this one
That card
basically,
is that card is insane.
yeah, so this was nuts. I was basically getting a Firha out and then reanimating whatever I pitched into the graveyard with Firha and blocking with Firha to gain life. And then, of course, you flip it over and it becomes like a Bitter Blossom on crack. It's like a
That and
much better Bitter Blossom.
Invasion of New Capenna is also cracked for the Orzhov deck.
Okay, yep. Yep, and you can see here this is the Firha, and I haven't seen anybody do this in CPDH, but second spell each turn, you strategic planning, or in this, because we're in black, it's ransack the labs, and then you put it into your graveyard. So it's basically just like a really cool Orzhov thing, and that was the first one, and then the second one was basically like I put the team on my back with Gloom, the new Gloom Fang. Is it Gloom Fang? Yeah, Mauler. Yep, this card. Holy Moses, dude. This was so stupid. I got a Shieldred and I got a couple copies of this and I just played like, what is it? Glitter. What was it? Glitter is the black CMC equals 3 O colon battle type creature. Color equals black. Oh boy, that's gonna give us a lot of stuff. It's the fairy. Where's this fairy? You can exile it.
Oh,
Oh shoot, we gotta add another clause. Exile.
is it the one that discards cards from their hand?
No, you get cards back. Flitting Gorilla. This card. So I just basically had a bunch of shit like this, and it was like cool
Yeah,
self
that
mill.
card is insane. That
Yeah,
card is
this was
great.
really good. Yeah, yeah. So, but it was great. That was a pre-release, so that was a good time. But yeah, glad you had a good time too. But I think without further ado, let's talk about Gitaxian Spellstalker. You talked a little bit about your experience with pre-release. I think the thing that struck me when I was looking at this commander when it first was spoiled is that there are a lot of really low mana investment ways to produce a kill, a lethal attack with Gitaxian Spellstalker. And we're just going to add the cards right away as I talk about them. And really, it's not Kenra Spellspear that we're playing this deck for. We're playing it for the flip. So this is Spellstalker, not Spellspear, and that is a Distortion Strike,
Assault
Distortion,
Strobe.
and Assault Strobe. Exactly. We can produce a lethal attack with a Distortion Strike and Assault Strobe, which is a red and a blue, to give the creature +1/+0 unblockable, and then double strike. And this combination of cards is not only killing one player, but then we're actually going to get the rebound of the Distortion Strike, which means that this is a one card potentially kill two different players. And I thought, boy, that's really good. And the other part of it is that it's prowess. The fact that this card is not instants and sorceries is massively important to its competitive viability. And the reason for that is that it means that we can play Mana Rocks. And you know who can't play Mana Rocks is Balmor Battle Mage. We can look at this one here. Balmor Battle Mage is in this line of sort of Izzet Blitzy type stuff, but it's more of an Izzet Brawl in the sense that you've got lots of little creatures, you're casting lots of token makers, and then you're buffing your whole team in, swing in. But instants and sorceries is a huge like cucking in this format. You really want to see non-creature on your spells, and this is the same reason why there's a big difference between Third Path Iconoclast, which says non-creature, and Murmuring Mystic. Murmuring Mystic here. Instants and sorcery versus non-creature. Now, I think that there's other reasons to play Mystic. The flying is a big part of it. The 1/5 body is another. The fact that it's another tribe that's focused around birds gives you another distant melody effect. And it's also all these flying creatures also allow you to play like Winged Words and Lofty Denial, and you get to play Abjure, which is the blue counterspell for one that you have to sack a bird, but it has to be blue, so we don't get that in TPI. So you do get a lot of things in this one, but boy, the non-creature part of it just makes the deck just go. Everything you do is supporting this plan. And it's the same reason why I play Thrall Parasite, which is, oh boy, this is another one where we have to be more specific. Thrall Parasite, which is Extort, which is any spell. You can extort off of any spell, versus Witherbloom Apprentice, which is instant and sorceries and copies. Right, so this is what I saw when I saw this commander. I was like, okay, this is just a different build of basically Livaan is what I'm seeing here. So what that means is that we can play Mana Rocks, and these Mana Rocks are all going to feed into our ability to deliver a lethal OTK against a single player, followed by another player, followed by another player, hopefully. And so things like this are going to be huge. I think basically we're going to look at this and say any effect that says, so we're going to say not creature, so type not creature, O double is going to give us all the double strike effects.
Speaking of killing one player then another player, I was hoping there would be at least one common way to make a token copy of something.
Unfortunately not. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the rules they changed for tokens. You can flip tokens now.
Interesting.
So we could copy the front side and still be able to flip it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought. Unfortunately, not something we can do. But I think the first and foremost here is all the double strike effects. These double strike effects on their own are going to equate to 10 damage from our commander. If we cast nothing else in the turn, 10 damage. The fact is that the Spellstalker actually has a couple of other things as well that go beyond the prowess, and that's evasion, the trample. just utterly like crucial. I've played a lot of Izzet Blitz in different formats. I've played a lot of it in Pauper. It was the first Pauper deck I ever built was Izzet Blitz back when Daze, Gush, Gitaxian Probe, Foil were all legal in the format at the same time prior to Blue Tuesday. And it was a really fun deck. Really enjoyed playing it. And one of the problems you ran into was being unable to attack safely if you didn't have double strike or trample. Or lethal with your one creature. If you couldn't produce lethal with your creature, you could only trample, but they were going to kill your creature in the process through blocking. Then you deal all this damage, you bring them very low, but then they're not dead and you don't have a creature to pressure them. So there were a lot of tension points where you always felt like you needed to kill them in one shot or nothing at all. So this has everything that Kiln Fiend doesn't have. It's evasion with trample. It has built-in protection, and it grows so rapidly. I mean, holy crap! Double prowess. You could go like mana rock, double strike, and I think that's lethal, right? Yeah, first mana rock takes you to 5. Second mana rock takes you to 7. Double strike takes you to 9, and that's 18. Yeah, that's disgusting. And anything that they put in the way is the abyss. Anything that they put in your way is going to be that. And if they have to try and kill it on the stack and we counterspell it, then we get even bigger, and then maybe they die anyways. So yeah, double strike I think is the first one, and we're going to make a tag for this.
The big one that we can run that other decks can't is Psychotic Fury.
This is such a big thing. Like, this target multicolored creature gains double strike, draw a card, is basically like the best spell in our deck, other than like Assault Strobe maybe. I mean, it's so heavy, and the fact that it's drawing a card at instant speed is fantastic. Like, the problem with Assault Strobe is it's pretty telegraphed, but yeah. We got Islane with the Possibility Storm saying it can be pretty gross for sure. Just got to watch out for those damn Darkness players. Yeah, for you, those of you all who enjoy the live content for CPDH, I recommend you go and check out Islane's stream. Islane is Possibility Storm in the comments here, and they did some fantastic live stream with myself, Mons from CEDH TV, and of course my business partner Clay and my fellow co-host, and we did some great games playing. I was on Thrall Parasite. Islane was playing Kenra Spellspear or Gitaxian Spellstalker. Mons was playing like an OG build of Gormod, which is Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro and Tormod the Desecrator. And then Clay was on his pet deck, which is a really, really cool deck. It's Malcolm and Dargo. So pirate stuff. So if you want to check that out, go to Islane's channel, make sure to subscribe there and give his videos a like, and then watch that to see how that game turned out. There was a darkness cast, and it was pretty backbreaking. So for you dark mages out there, those of you who've sold your soul for power and power and glory, do make sure to put darkness in your deck. Nobody should ever play around it. So yeah. He says I'm permanently crippled. It was emotionally damaging. I think it's emotional damage. It was, yeah, it came out of nowhere. I definitely top decked it and had to be very careful to not telegraph the fact that I was over the moon elated that I did. But yeah, so we got the double strike spells here. We're gonna also put some evasion spells in here. We're gonna have a category for that. We're also going to have a draw section like this, because Psychotic Fury does draw cards. Okay, let's also get our mana rocks in here. So let's do O or function, ramp, CMC equals 2. Yeah, and just see what we get. We're going to do Arcane Signet. We're going to, oh, that's kind of interesting. This is literally a mana rock. Huh. I don't like that this makes colorless. I just didn't know this card existed. But it makes colorless, and that's pretty bad in this deck because we're pretty pip intensive. I don't think we're going to be playing rituals. I think I like the idea of Fire Diamond. A lot of times our play pattern in this deck, and as Islane will confirm, this is a deck that is highly, inherently, it's going to be highly commander centric. And there is vulnerability in that. Being a highly commander-centric deck means that you have one axis that your deck operates off of, and that's it. And in this, if you wanted to play a non-commander-centric version of this deck, I highly recommend that you instead look at a different commander. And that commander is Livaan, Cultist of Tiamat. So this is another commander, kind of in the same mana cost because you're talking about 2 for the Spell Spear, 3 for the Spellstalker, and then you're kind of safe. This is just 3, and then you can cast your background, which is the Sword Coast Sailor. So Livaan is awesome because you can cast token making spells, and then you can make the tokens big, and then the tokens can swing in freely, and then the backup plan is making Livaan big. But cards that delve, like Magmatic Sinkhole, Treasure Cruise, free cast spells like Gush, Meeting of Minds, these cards are insanely broken in Livaan. And if you want to have a more diversified game plan of like swinging in with stuff and then having this commander damage route, this is one way to do it. It's just a little bit, I think it's just not going to be as good as what the Spell Spear can do because of the built-in protection, because of the built-in evasion. You don't have this weird clause of like, you can only attack people unblockably if you're attacking the player with the most life. I really hate that clause on Sword Coast Sailor. So yeah, if you want to do more diversified game plan, almost a bit mid-rangey aggro, kind of in the Rilsa territory of like we want to win with combat damage, but it doesn't need to be all at once. This is what I would recommend. But if you want to be doing Izzet Blitz stuff, this is what we're going to do. And the reason I bring that up is because turn 2, we do want to be playing a Mana Rock. Turn 2, Mana Rock. Turn 3, Spell Spear with a counter spell up. I think that's like a kind of a heuristic we want to think about when we're playing this. So Felwar Stone, Fire Diamond. I'm not going to lie, I've been very interested in Flywheel Racer in a lot of decks. And I don't know. This like, if we play this first and then Kenra, it's basically a Mana Rock. It's not going to act as a Mana Rock when we're attacking people, is the only problem. But it does enable us to have a turn 2 rock that produces any color of mana, and it is potentially edict fodder. So I really like the idea that we could play out our commander, have this up, and then somebody goes edict, and we crew it and sack this instead. I think that
I
actually...
was just about to bring it up.
Yeah.
Also, we do have a Mana Rock because it has Vigilance.
That's true. Well,
so it still counts for mana as long as they don't kill it with
right. What I'm saying is that we're not going to crew it very often.
Oh yeah, probably
because we won't have a lot of creatures.
But
so
even if we play something like a spell that gives us a 1/1, it's crew 1.
Yep, it is crew 1. I like it when it comes out that first turn. Basically, that's when it looks like the best. And yeah, it is edict fodder as well. I think this is probably good enough. In the same way that Ornithopter of Paradise might be good enough, even though it doesn't trigger Livaan, it's like edict fodder and a Mana Rock on 2. So yeah, and Islane mentions casting it for 10 was not fun. Yeah, no, that didn't look fun. And this is one of the things too, is that sometimes like your opponents present you an opportunity that is too good to pass up. If I look across the table and I presume that my opponent may or may not have the lands to actually recast their commander, maybe they don't have any more lands in hand, and I see an opportunity to set them like anywhere from 2 to 4 turns behind with a play, I will take that. That level of tempo is just too appealing to do. So with this commander, we are going to be wanting to play out rocks or playing our commander on turn 3 with 1 mana up for a hexproof spell. Something along those lines, because we really don't want to get priced out of our commander.
Agreed.
Yep. We have Gilded Pinions is another one we could actually consider here. This is 2 mana. It gives a creature flying. It also makes a treasure token. So this is kind of like a 2 mana rock one time. And I kind of like this one. We can just attach it to the creature. But yeah. Electromancer is kind of interesting. I kind of like this card, actually. It's essentially edict fodder that's also reducing the cost of our counter spells mainly. So let's put this one in the main deck.
Also reduces the cost of all of our hexproof spells that aren't 1 mana.
That's true. Yep. I think Guardian Idol is kind of interesting to me. Again, this is another mana rock that can become a creature that can eat an edict, and it comes down on 2. It does produce colorless, so maybe the nice thing about it is that it's not going to die to sweepers. And the same thing with the flywheel, right? It's just not going to die to sweepers. Which like
so
the Hedron.
Sweepers.
What's that?
This is something that I had an entire conversation with someone over the weekend about this commander and sweepers. Sweepers do nothing to us. We
Nothing to
have
the
double
commander.
prowess. We have
Yeah.
double prowess. All of the sweepers do 2 damage. We ignore it.
Yeah, I think I agree on that. The only thing is that when we I think the idea is that we have counter spells for edicts and that sweepers aren't going to hurt us, and that targeted removal will be protected by counter spells or hexproof type stuff. But common
Exactly.
play pattern is to sweep the board and then cast an edict, and so just like playing to that thought is something that's kind of coming to mind here. Okay, so we got Sky Diamond, like that one as well. Star Compass is going to be good. Um, and those are the ones that I think we're most excited about. So let's take a look and see how many that got us to. So that right there got us to nine of these. You know, maybe even Ornithopter of Paradise wants to be something like Prismatic Lens instead. I kind of like it though. It makes any mana of any color. It's a blocker. It eats edicts. I think we keep it. I think we're fine with this one.
I like it because I think
Yeah.
we're gonna play a couple of equipment, and then even at worst, we put some equipment on and hit someone in the face for lethal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good point there. So I think we've got a nice base. Like if we think about what are the first things we wanted to hit on, first thing is double strike. All the double strike spells we can get. Second one is ramp. The fact that we can play it at all is huge. And actually, I do want to draw a correlation here, or like kind of a dis, you know, it's more of a correlation here, or similarity would be the better word, between this and Third Path Iconoclast. There's going to be some similarities here. And one thing that we're seeing right off the bat is the mana rock number is really similar. We have 9 here. I was just realizing actually Springleaf Drum is another one that we could play.
Yeah, I was about to say Springleaf Drum.
Yeah,
I also, speaking of equipment, I just added to our list an equipment I think is insanely good for this deck.
Which one is that? Oh, the beat stick.
Boot stick.
Yeah, okay, so you like the beat stick, and why is that?
It gives menace.
Yeah, pretty sick, huh? So
it gives, like, outside of everything else, it gives menace, it makes a treasure.
Yep. So here's a really cool thing about this deck. You actually don't need an artifact, or you don't need a spell to give more than +1/+1 to Gitaxian Spellstalker for it to be lethal. So for example, if you go Boomtown Beatstick, equip, that puts it up to 6 power, and all you need to do is cast any other spell. It could be an unblockability. You could cast Artful Dodge. So Boomtown Beatstick, equip, Artful Dodge, and actually no, it'd have to be a double strike spell at that point, like Assault Strobe. Yeah, Assault Strobe.
Any double strike spell.
Any double strike, yeah. So we don't. So actually, cards like Bone Splitter are actually overkill in some ways. We could play Bone Splitter, but we could also just play Bone Saw. You know what I mean? And so let's chase this rabbit hole a little bit. We'll do augmentations. I like to say augmentations on this, and actually they're really modifications, right? That's the terminology for them.
The official term according to Wizards is modification.
Yeah, okay, modifications. Interesting. I'll have to do that with my other list. So I like Boomtown Beatstick. Creating treasure every turn is really cool. And as you're noticing, if you double strike, you make 2 treasures.
Oh yeah.
That's dirty. And the menace is obviously going to mean that you're either putting somebody into the double abyss or you're just killing them, which is great. So this one actually gets bonus points for being, you know, particularly nice that way. So now let's take a look at type equipment. And let's do CMC equals 1 for the time being and just see what comes up here. Boots of Speed is one that really comes to mind here. This is really great because we have, oh, there we go. Islane's just like literally like right as I say this is like Boots of Speed and leather armor.
Boots of Speed and leather armor. I was about to say.
Boots of Speed, leather armor, and I think Bonesaw. All of those being really cheap ways to get a trigger, and then +1/+1. Yeah, Ward.
That's all I have to say.
Yep, Ward 3 is getting really close to hexproof. And I mean that in the sense that like somebody's only gonna be able to cast 1 spell sometimes to like stop you, and if they don't, then they're not developing their board, which means that we don't die as quick. So Boots of Speed is great. This is another one just like the Boomtown Beatstick where we cast it, equip it, and we only need a double strike spell to smear somebody. So this one's cool. Ceremonial Knife is interesting. 2 blood tokens every time we hit is actually pretty cool. And Ceremonial Knife triggers on combat damage. It doesn't need to be to a player. So I think Ceremonial Knife makes the cut. I don't
Yeah, I was
think
gonna
that.
say, I think that's good enough. I don't know if the other ones are.
Yeah, I don't think that the other ones are either. And the reason being for that is that they're the menace is what we like so much. The +1 power, the menace, the hitting them twice. Prying Blade and Gold Vein Pick are good, but they don't grant evasion. So I think that maybe there's a logic behind not playing those, but we'll have to see. We should throw them in considering at the very least.
I agree.
Dueling Rapier and Mirren Bane Splitter are cards that I want to consider as well because both
I
of
was gonna say
these
those two. Yeah.
they're really expensive to equip. That's the only problem I have with them. Like Dueling Rapier is 4, which is awful. Um, but Mirren Bane Splitter's 3. It's just that these add 4 power to our creature. So if we cast this, it's going to go up to 7, and if we cast a double strike spell, we're going to go up to 9. So basically maximizing the number of ways that we can cast a cheap spell that's like 1 mana and then follow it up with a double strike spell to kill somebody. So let's try these, and then these will be probably the first cut if we find other things. But the fact that they attach right away is great. Here's the leather armor. This is 1 mana +2/+2 from the prowess, and then we can equip it for free.
I believe I added it.
Yep. Okay, you added this. Great. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're making changes too. Mirren Bane Splitter. This is the other one. ETB enters, which is great. Mantle of Tides. Very exciting card. I like this a lot. 1 mana. We're gonna draw cards. This isn't a problem,
Oh yeah, I
right?
was just looking at Mantle. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those like maybe cards to me. Like it might be one of the first things cut.
I think that this card translates to the exact same thing as like um, as the Mirren Bane, or sorry, the Beat Stick in a way, because 1 power is actually all you need. Unless if you're trampling, you might want a little bit more, but I think like 1 power is all you need. So this is translating to 1 mana, get us over the hump of that. So basically, Mantle of Tides plus Psychotic Fury equip, you're off to the races. They're dead. And you only need to cast 1 other spell to probably get through their blockers, right? So I think Mantle of Tides is great. We're gonna have a lot of cantripping spells, or spells that basically are going to they're going to draw a card for us. So for those of you listening, Mantle of Tides is 1 blue, +1/+2 equipment. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you can attach this to a creature you control, or you can pay 3 to equip. We're never going to pay the 3 to equip. We're going to just draw our second card, equip it over to Livaan, over to our Spellstalker, and go right on our way. The other cards we were talking about, just for those of you who might be listening to this audio form, Mirren Bane Splitter and Dueling Rapier, red. Artifact equipment flash, enters the battlefield attached to target creature you control, and it's a bone splitter. It's +2/+0. And then they both have a pretty expensive equip cost of 3 and 4. Okay, so we got those. We got the Prying Blade here, which is another one of the equipment that is going to make treasures for us. We'll add that to considering. We have a lot of other equipments here, and I kind of wonder about some of these cheap ones like Tormentor's Helm. Where I really like equipment in decks like this, because it just allows you to suit it up if it dies, right? You don't have to cast as many spells. Like say we go for the kill, we kill somebody and we're tapped out, and somebody kills our commander, and then we recast it. We hold up counterspell, we protect it, and then we flip it, and then attach the equipment to it, and then go to kill somebody, and we can actually do it over again. So there's a part of me that likes like Sylvok Lifestaff. We'll add that considering the Tormentor's Helm. Although to a degree, a person might ask, why Tormentor's Helm if you've got Bone Splitter? Just because we don't need Bone Splitter in a sense doesn't mean we shouldn't play it. So I think that does go in here. And it's the 1 to play, 1 to equip that we like the most about it. I don't think we play the Darksteel Axe.
Speaking of the spells that come into play and equip, there are a couple at 2 mana as well.
Yeah, so let's take a look at that. We're going to go CMC equals 2 here. And we have Armguard Familiar.
Yeah, I like Armguard.
Does this so when you play this, does this come down as an equipment, or I actually am not super familiar with it?
So it comes down as a creature, a 2/1 Ward 2 that you have to equip for 4.
Oh, it's awful. This is terrible.
Yeah.
This
Uh,
mechanic is
it's
awful.
it's good. It's really good in certain decks. I have it in Squid because it's just good in Squid. It's just another artifact creature.
Sure, sure.
But here, I don't think we want it.
Yeah.
If it didn't cost 4 to equip, it would be fine because it's Ward 2.
Yeah,
Like
it's so
any
much.
more ward we can get, any more ward we can get to make it so no one wants to touch us.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree on that. And yeah, Jonathan, this is the double prowess creature. That's right. So Crystal Slipper is another one that I kind of liked as well. Having another permanent source of being able to grant us evasion,
Yep, and it
and
only costs 1 to equip.
one to equip. That's the big one. Yep. So I like that.
Javelin of Lightning.
Yeah, this one's kind of interesting. This is giving us first strike, which I actually quite like. +2 +0.
It's only 1 mana more than the other one that costs 4 to equip.
It's the same. It's a bone splitter, because bone splitter is 1 to play, 1 to equip. This is 2 +2 +0 and first strike, same as bone splitter.
Not the Mirren one, the other one. What's
Yeah,
the other one? It's like that one because it's 4 to equip instead of 3.
that's right. That's right. You're paying a little bit more, and then it's 4 to equip on the back end. So kind of interested in it, but maybe we'll just have to see about this one. I think this one's right on the edge. The fact that it gives first strike is really nice because then we don't actually have to worry about. Generally, we're not going to have to worry about it in combat. First strike's almost never going to be an issue for us because we're just going to be big. Our creature is just going to be bigger than everything else. It's going to be very hard to trade profitably. We're going to be able to cast spells, and they don't even need to resolve for us to get bigger very quickly. So the first strike may or may not be as useful. We have Lightning Spear, +1/+1 trample, removal spell, equip for 1. I don't think we need this. Stealth Suit. So this one here is interesting. This one doesn't allow us to.
It doesn't allow us to target, but we might have to take that risk because it's just an instant speed to equip.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's basically an onboard counterspell, which I think is really good. Because you can pay this cost multiple times to try to attach the Nurok Stealth Suit multiple times at instant speed to your commander. So if you play it out, somebody goes to kill it, you equip. They're basically just not going to kill your creature if they see that you have 4 blue. So I actually like this one quite a bit. It's only 2 and 1 to play and equip. We have another Bone Splitter here with Scavenged Blade, which is 1 and a red. ETB, attach it to a creature you control, +2 +0, equip for 3. I think we can do better.
We have a magical Christmas land. Vorak Battle Horns with the Beamtown beat stick on it.
Unblockable.
Means unblockable, yeah.
Yep. But Vorak Battlehorns is giving us trample, and we don't need trample. That's the only thing.
That's why I said it's a magical Christmas land card. I don't know if we play it.
Yeah, I don't think that's do, yeah.
But like that is the magical Christmas land card. Like,
totally.
Get both on, just win.
Yep. Definitely get that. Another one that I was thinking about too that we could consider is Haunted Cloak. This is another one. If we go up to CMC3, we get to Haunted Cloak, Strider Harness. Haunted Cloak is basically giving us Vigilance and Haste for 1, and I think that's probably good enough. Vigilance is really good. So I kind of like that, but this will be one that I'm looking to potentially cut at some point. Whispersill Cloak is unblockable and Shroud. I mean, that just like...
Yeah, I was about to say, Whispersill, Strider Harness, and Haunted Cloak are amazing at 3 cost.
Strider Harness being a 1 to equip, giving us the power and the haste is really great. So I kind of like this one as well. But I think, we're going to be looking to... We're going to be carefully assessing like how many of these equipments we're playing just versus other forms of like good spells, I think is something that I'm very interested in. So let me refresh here and just see what you've added. So let's go and start sorting these into augmentations. We've got Strider Harness, we've got Haunted Cloak. We're also going to do this into protection.
You've added basically everything I was going to add as I added it.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So are these in considering? Yes. Okay, they are. Got it. Sweet. Yeah, let me know if you've already added these in, and we'll, then I don't need to. So we've got protection. We've got the Crystal Slipper as a modification, Mirror and Bane Splitter modification, Mantle of Tides, leather armor, dueling rapier. We forgot about the bone saw. We got the ceremonial knife, boots of
How did we
speed.
forget Bonesaw?
It's just sometimes I'll mention things, but I won't actually follow up because really, like this card translates to reducing the number of spells we need to cast on any given turn by one, and on the turn that we play it, it's just a free way to trigger the prowess. So it's like even if you don't end up equipping, this is just like a great way to get. I don't know, some of the lines in this deck produce arbitrarily easily lethal it's arbitrarily easy to produce lethal in this deck with some of the stuff we can do. Like, where you're like, I paid 3 mana and my creature is unblockable and lethal, and I have all this other mana up because I've got mana rocks in the deck.
And its toughness is now
Yeah.
way higher than anyone's willing to pay like pestilence for.
And this is a big game changer. I mean, like there's a, when we talk about the the sort of when we talk about the comparison to Izzet Blitz, this is really what just like got me excited about it, is that in Izzet Blitz you rarely increase the power on Kiln Fiend, and it's a 3 toughness creature. And Kiln Fiend, for those of you that don't know, is 1 red for a 1/2 creature that has turbo prowess. Every time you cast an instant or a sorcery, you get +3/+0. So the idea is you cast, you did mutagenic growth, paying 2 green or paying Phyrexian green for +2/+2, and then you cast mutagenic growth, and that's 18 damage right there, just those 2 spells. And then you would try to kill people. And what that deck had a problem with is like Bolt kills it, Galvanic Blast kills it, just so many ways to hose it. But in this, you're almost always going to be restricted with damage-based spells to killing it at sorcery speed on your turn. Otherwise, if you don't, they're going to like hexproof this thing and like get even bigger. And so your timing is limited there. We've got Shaughnessy hopping in the chat. Good to see you. I'm not sure that I've had you in the chat before, so welcome and glad to have you. Connoisseur of Fine Common Cardboard. And he says, this looks super fun. I think so too. We'll have to see just how competitive it is. I think that there's going to be perhaps some issues with not having enough blockers, where we're going to want stuff like Hard Evidence and, cards like Serpentine Curve. Hard Evidence is a blue.
We can also run Kiln Fiend.
We could also run Kiln Fiend. Yep. But cards Hard Evidence is blue for a 0/3 crab token. It's a sorcery and it investigates. And then Serpentine Curve makes a green. It's 3 and a blue to make a green-blue. Is it an illusion token that has +1/+1 counters equal to the number of instants and sorceries in exile and graveyard. And I'm repeating all this stuff because I may actually convert this video into a podcast so that you all can listen while you're doing other things instead of having to have your phone open while you're listening to YouTube. So Neodust123, welcome to the chat. Glad to have you here, and I haven't seen you here before either, so welcome. Just started a Pauper EDH League at my local shop. Well, hey, everybody give us some thumbs up and some love to Neo for really for broadening the horizons of the people around him with this, with the league. That's fantastic. Got a championship belt made in everything. Thoughts on the best decks in the format? Well, Neo, thanks for the question. Really, the best decks thing is something I tend to shy away from, and that's because it's really context dependent, and it's draw dependent, and it's even player dependent.
It's player meta and meta dependent.
Yep. The best deck in the format is largely going to depend on what your pod is and who the players are. And so what that really devolves down to is there are a phenomenal number of competitive decks in this format. And I'm going to go so far, and I'm not a CDH expert, so call me out on this if you think I'm wrong, but I do watch a fair bit. So I don't play it, but I watch a fair bit. And my perception is that the number of competitive decks in CPDH, in competitive Pauper Commander, vastly dwarfs the number of competitive decks there are in CEDH.
It does.
And part of that is because we have this beautiful flattening of the power level. And the flattening of the power level paired with the fact that at common, our answers are almost always better than our threats means that problems are pretty, like problem cards, problem decks, that kind of situation, those issues are fairly self-regulating. They're not the sort of things that generally need bans. We had some cards that we banned, like Mystic Remora and Rhystic Study, and the result of that wasn't as much. It's funny. The reason
You
for
mean the
what
two
was
best blue cards in all of Magic?
yeah, the reason that they banned those cards was actually different from what I think the benefit was. The reason was that they were power level problems, but one of the other consequences of it was that it made all the other colors way more playable when you weren't constantly thinking, well, I don't have blue because I don't have these cards. So it's this format has a lot of fantastic decks. The other selling point for Pauper Commander is that along with having a lot of fantastic decks, every archetype is playable, and that's another characteristic that CEDH does not have. Aggro is not like a hyper viable commonly seen strategy in CEDH, and in Pauper Commander, aggro is running all over the place. So your second question, Neo, and hope that answers it for you. There is no best deck. There's a lot of great decks, and if you want to play something, there's a really good chance that there's a good competitive version of it out there, or something similar to it that would do the job for you. So, second question from you. What were you going to say, Prax?
I was gonna say I started, like I've said before, I've started one at my store. The best deck in the format happens to be the deck that the two of us work together on, because our format at my store is y'all's format from August.
Yeah.
So Rilsa just destroys the format because that's what she was designed to do.
Yeah. Yep. This command. I mean, it's a great commander. I can see why it's well positioned. You know, it's really going to depend. It's just like let's give a good example. Okay, if you are a combo deck and you are one of 4 players and there's only one combo player at the table, you possess you are representing an existential threat to everybody else at the table just by existing. When you do your thing, if you are able to do it, you win the game on the spot. Every other player at the table, if they do their thing and they have to fight over it, say you go to cast, say you're playing Rilsa and you had counterspells in the deck, which we don't. Say you play Rilsa and you defend it. Somebody goes counterspell and you go counter back and you resolve it. Do you win the game? Absolutely not. You do not automatically win the game. If Gretchen gets to do the thing, they win the game. And so if you're one player in a 4-player pod and you're playing combo and you're the only one playing combo, your odds of winning are lower. You are disfavored to win. If you are a combo player and there's 2 or 3 combo players at the table, your odds of winning go up dramatically, because you can smoke screen behind the less scary people. You want to be the second or third scariest person. So yeah. But here, to respond to your other questions, you said, I've seen a lot of Gut and Gretchen, and partners generally seem strong. Yep, I think those are true. Gut's a great deck. Gut Agent of the Iron Throne or Gut Inspiring Leader are both reasonable and great decks to play. Gretchen is a powerful combo player in the format. Layweaver Loreweaver as a partner is a really good one. There's a lot of good Simic combo out there. Neodust says it looks like capsize decks, black aggro, and other stuff. Yep, black and white have really, really good aggro in their 99. Black gets a ton of evasive creatures at 1, 2, and all the way up the curve. They get a lot of really good stuff. And they're just backed up by amazing initiative because they've got 2 initiative cards instead of 1. And then white has the highest density of evasive creatures at 1 mana of any color in the format. So both are really good for that. Anthony Knie says, more playable cards in the pool too. Exactly. Somebody offered and just did this for me. They told me after they did an analysis of my Moxfield profile that in the last 3 months, I've touched 1,300 individual Magic cards. And just like let that sink in for a second in terms of the breadth of this format. In 3 months, I've touched 1,300 Magic. It's an astounding amount. The number of playable cards in this format is insane. So less of a flex, but more just to illustrate that there's just so much to explore here. Neodust says, yeah, Fish and Study seem too good, obviously. Sure, the meta is always the thing to keep in mind. Combo player will get targeted first. Yep, absolutely. Calvin says, Jury is a cool one. Yep, Jury's great. Mayhem Devil's great. The new Stormclaw Rager. These are some great Rakdos stuff. And it's typical EDH politics. Appreciate what y'all are doing, though. Just trying to make a format pop here in Georgia. I've been down the rabbit hole. Well, I'm glad that you're down the rabbit hole. Welcome to the rabbit hole, and well done spreading the good word on this format. I really do think it's my favorite way to play Magic now, and I've been playing Magic since I was 7. So, holy shit! It's John Allen enters the chat. Wow, Oh man, oh this warms my heart. John Allen is childhood best friend of mine, showing up in the stream. This is fantastic. He moved away recently, but he says, "I wish I was actually knew how to build a good deck." Well, John, you stick around with this channel here, and we'll get you all learned up. We'll get you properly oriented towards things. And just so you know, John, the definition of this format, the way that we play Pauper Commander, is that we play all commons in the 99, and then we play an uncommon rarity, doesn't need to be a legend, in what's called the command zone. And the command zone is a special zone. It's like our hand, where we have a creature that defines the colors of our deck, and then that creature can be cast over and over and over again with a cost of basically a little bit more mana each time we cast it. So basically, Commander is a multiplayer format. It's singleton. You can only run of each card in your deck, and this is what I specialize in now. So John and I have played Magic maybe a couple times when we were like maybe like pre 20 years old, and he's a fellow nerd. John also knows a shitload about Lord of the Rings. So if you've got questions, you ask John Allen, he'll have answers for you. Neodust says, okay, back to the build. Sorry to pivot off topic. Storm off King. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, all right. So let's do it. We are Rilsa here. Back to the deck build. We've got Gitaxian Spellstalker here. We've got the ramp. So let's organize this into ramp as well, because we need to have that category online. We're going to do this one: Felwar Stone, Fire Diamond, Flywheel Racer, Guardian Idol, Izzet Signet, Ornithopter of Paradise, Sky Diamond. Why is it not going in here? Untagged artifacts. Do we need to change this? Yeah, we do. Okay, there we go. And we got Star Compass, we got Sky Diamond, and we've got Bone Saw to go under modifications, Whisper Silk under modifications. Great. Okay, so we're at 30 cards in the main deck. Let's just do a quick 34 mountains, and we're just going to fill up our land slot so that we just know how deep we are into the deck. 64 cards, which means that we have now 36 cards or 35 cards to play with. Okay, about 10 of those are going to be protection. Maybe 10 to 15 of them might be protection or counter spells. So we have. It's funny, outside of the double strike, you just need to cast spells and cast a double strike spell. That's it, which I'm kind of excited about. So we're going to need probably 15 draw spells and 15 protection spells. Maybe this is a more simple deck than I thought.
Well, mainly because we're building it as Voltron.
Yep.
Voltron is a lot more simple to do in Izzet than if we were going to do some flood the board, young peasy type deck that we could do with this deck. This deck, he is very good for it, because all of your other spells that like make dudes incidentally just make them better.
Yeah. I think some of the creatures I want to play in this deck are actually creatures that get spells back, because the spells that we care about are really fucking good. So if you get Distortion Strike back after killing 2 players and then you kill another one, or if you get a double strike spell back, they're going to be really strong. So so we're going to do return. Man, if we had function Archaeomancer.
One got added to Considering, and one got added to the deck.
What was that?
Dueling Raper is also in the deck and Considering.
Okay, cool. Did we have the other one? So we have Dueling Rapier and Mirren Banesplitter. Okay, so let's remove this from here. And we got some questions. Neodust saying, would you still play Drake as a backup? And when you say Drake, are you talking about Enigma Drake? Or Bloodwater Entity? There's some other prowess cards. Actually, Bloodwater Entity, now that I wasn't even, that was just coming off my mind because I thought it was a Drake, but it's an elemental. But this is actually an Archaeomancer for 3 mana in this deck. Crackling Drake as a backup. So yeah, that's an uncommon. Crackling Drake is a great commander. For those of you unfamiliar with Crackling Drake, and there probably won't be many of you, but Crackling Drake is a blue, red, 0/4 flying. Its power is equal to the number of instants and sorceries you have in exile or your graveyard, and it ETBs draw a card, and it has flying. This is a really, really cool commander. This is actually one of the first commanders that I popularized alongside Clay. We had 2 kind of adjacent builds of it back when people thought that only combo was good. So Yeah, cool one. And if you want to see more on that, I have a list on my Mox field with that very commander. So, okay. So we got Bloodwater Entity. We're going to have Archaeomancer here for the 4 mana one. Philology Archaeologist seems like a good one too, potentially.
Mystic Sanctuary.
Yep, to like find either a mana rock, produces an edict fodder. It's gonna put cards in the yard that we could use a treasure cruise, and it's also going to find us a spell. So this is like 1 mana find us a spell, and we're gonna need blockers. We're gonna need some of them. So this one here is going to be spell recovery, which is basically a form of card advantage. But I do want to track that just to see that we have enough of it. Both of these are also creatures, so we're going to drag those in there. Philology Archaeologist goes under creatures. This one's also going to go under draw. Okay, then we also have the 4 mana one, which is called, it has an exploit on it. Exploit instant. This is, yeah, Repository Scab. Is this better than just paying 5 mana for something? Like, it can exploit itself. But if we're exploiting itself, it's kind of like a really, really bad... What's it called? Recover? Or reclaim? Well, I mean, you put it into your hand, but... I don't know. This one probably not good enough just because it needs to sacrifice something, and we don't have a lot of bodies. And also another thing you should know too, exploit is a very exploitable mechanic. You should know that with exploit, that if the trigger goes on the stack and somebody bounces it, and so if you ETB, somebody says, okay, that ETBs, and then you go to exploit, and somebody responds, you can still exploit a creature, but because the creature is no longer in play, say they removed it or bounced it, because the creature is no longer in play, you actually do not get that trigger. So if you're like, I want to get this double strike spell, so you like play Repository Scab, and then they're like, sure, exploit trigger on the stack. They bounce it, then if you try to exploit something, you're not actually even going to get anything for it. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we've got that one. We've got these two. We also have Mystic Sanctuary. We can do the same thing. Is this an Opal Palace deck?
We could.
Opal Palace means that if we cast it the second time, it's a 5/5. I mean, 5/5 plus Uncaged Fury is lethal. The reason I ask is because we could play Expedition Map and then use that to find Mystic Sanctuary to put stuff back on top. But let's do this actually. We're going to drift a little bit. CMC equals 1, O, draw. Type is not creature. Now let's see what we get. So we're definitely going to play Aether Spellbomb. This is going to be a Trinket Mage package that we play in the deck. Ancestral Anger, target creature gets trample and plus X plus O. It's +1/+0, trample, draw card. Obviously, as a singleton format, this is maybe like not as impressive as it is in 60 card. In 60 card, you know, this effect here rapidly gets to being like +2, +3, and draw card. But yeah, this is still drawing us a card. It's giving us a trigger. This is actually +3/+0. +3/+2. We could consider Arkham's Astrolabe. This is one of the rare decks where I actually might like this card. What do you think?
It might be good in here, yeah.
There might be better cards. Alex Scott says every deck is an Opal Palace deck, Lamo. Yeah, Opal Palace is a phenomenally powerful card that is in many ways like very format defining. And
I like Forge of Heroes in here, by the way.
Forge of Heroes? Did you say Forge of Heroes?
I believe that's the name.
Interesting. I am open to that card. I have found that it's not as consistent as I want it to be, but yeah. We got Balduvian Rage.
I find that it just doesn't require an extra mana to add the counter. In a deck like this where we have trample on the creature, +1/+1 equates to more, just straight up.
Yeah, that's true. Now, this is a deck that I think is going to be quite a few cantrips. And for those of you listening, cantrips are going to be any card that's basically you playing a card to get a card. So anything that replaces itself. Because you play a lot of cantrips, and this is a dynamic you see in like the mono red Kiln Fiend decks, is that if you build Kiln Fiend in Pauper around all cards that just draw more cards, some number of those cards are going to be lands, and when you do that, it lends itself really, really well to looting effects. And I do not like looting effects in this format. You all have probably heard me talk about this ad nauseum, and the reason is that they're card neutral or card negative. Careful Study and Faithless Looting are card negative, and in a format where you are trying to in this deck, it makes sense, and we'll talk about why that is. But in a lot of cases, the best home for a looting effect is for various reasons. One, Faithless Looting is busted when it doesn't read loot 2. Faithless Looting is busted when it reads 1 mana draw 2. And why does it do that? Faithless Looting is 1 mana draw 2 when the cards that you pitch into the graveyard are castable or better in the graveyard. So when you are in 60 card Pauper and you go Faithless Looting, pitching Prismatic Strands and Battle Screech into your graveyard, and then you immediately flash back the Screech, and then you have Prismatic Strands up, that was literally 1 mana draw 2. And it not only did that, but it made your spells free. So Faithless Looting, that's when it's the best. And then you can recast it again, and then it's so basically, Faithless Looting at its best isn't just 1 mana draw 2. It's 1 mana draw 2, 3 mana draw 2. Because later on in the mid game, you might have lands and you just get rid of them and turn them into new spells. That's not a lot of decks. There are not a lot of decks in a singleton format like this where we only have access to commons where Faithless Looting is anything other than card disadvantage and card selection. Both. The other thing where Faithless Looting is good is when you're reanimating. And that's basically trying to cheat on mana. And we're not doing that. That's not a thing in Pauper Commander. We don't have enough like top end stuff that's good to make that like really worth. So the reason it works here, you might be wondering, okay, you've said all this stuff about it, but why does it work here? It's because we're going to cantrip like crazy. We're going to have a lot of cards that just say 1 mana, draw a card, and do a thing. And as we do that, we're going to get lands. And these cards allow us to take 2 lands and put them away because we don't need them. We've already played our land for turn, and draw 2 more action spells is going to be really good. So Careful Study goes in. We could consider Brainstorm as well. I think just the fact that it's going to find more cards for us is good, even if we don't shuffle. Brainstorm is not
actually good in this deck.
What's that?
I think this is one of the only decks I'd play Brainstorm in.
Yeah, Brainstorm is not a very good card in Pauper Commander. This is going to come off as a hot take, and it's kind of like Lotus Petal and, many of the rituals and stuff. Like a lot of CEDH players get kind of handicapped coming into the format because they're immediately thinking, oh, Lotus Petal, Simian Spirit Guide, Ritual, fast mana, cut your land count down to nothing, just turbo fast. And then they get crushed because, the answers are better than the threats. And Pauper players who come from 60 card will overvalue Brainstorm. But Brainstorm does not shuffle regularly enough to be good. Brainstorm is ludicrous in Legacy because you can play 4 of it and because your deck is full of shuffle effects. So, but we got some questions here. Let me go through these. Neodust says, worst thing for this deck is what? Edicts? How would you insulate against that? Just heavy counters to hold back the mana, tokens to sack. Yep. So we'll have a couple of incidental Edict fodder. We'll have counter spells. And I think that's it. So edicts, yep, those things will hurt occasionally, but we'll have tools for it. And he says, also, how do you decide if the deck is worth snow mana and the Scred package? Well, the question about worth, I presume you're not talking about money. But if it is money, I would just say we're coming at this from the most competitive angle we can. So we're always going to play the cards that are good, even if they cost a little bit of money. And snow does add, probably $30 to your deck in this particular case. But if you're talking about it from whether it's good, the question is going to be, what does snow get us? In this color, it's going to get us Arkham's Astrolabe if we want that. And I'm not convinced we do. Scred.
It's a Scred.
Scred, yep. This deck isn't playing a super long game, so Skred is often going to be like a flame slash at instant speed. I think Skred is just very good for the most part. And we'll probably play it here. We have enough mana rocks, so we don't have to play as many tap lands because our mana is just going to be good. So I think that Skred is going to be a solid choice. Yeah. Anthony says, dig, baby. Yeah, we're going to dig. That's for sure. And Talarian Ranger, glad to have found this channel. Welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. Pauper EDH is a blast. I've been spreading the word at my LGS and generally bringing a few decks for people to try. The games are surprisingly close much of the time. Yeah, you know, Pauper Commander is defined by interactivity. When the answers are better than the threats and everybody's, you know, not just pod racing like they are in CDH, everybody's just trying to race to win as soon as they can. You get these very interactive games where combat damage matters a lot, where the politics matter a lot, where your position, your seating position, and your choice of how you sequence your spells, not just playing everything on curve, but like, do I play this card right now? Does this increase my win rate to play this just because it's the efficient thing to do? You know, that kind of a thing is really important. So yeah, Islane says I can attest, very different building format. Yep, absolutely. Anthony Canese says you need to have a reason to run it. Yeah, when it comes to Brainstorm. And Scott says, Alex says, agreed, still love them though. Yeah, wow, holy smokes, we had 17 people hanging out in here. So just want to take a quick moment to thank everybody who's joined us for this live stream and really appreciate you being here. While you're at it, if you just want to take a quick moment to do the free thing and give a like down below if you are enjoying the content, and if you want to go a step further and make sure that you always get updated on content when it's coming out, particularly for unscheduled gameplay videos where I go streaming live, maybe I'm playing a game or something, then go and make sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you have any feedback for us, Clay and I are always open to taking and integrating your feedback into making these videos as best as we possibly can. So thank you all for being here. All right, moving on. We've got Burning Inquiry. I don't know, we're gonna add this again because I really hate this card, but we're gonna add it to considering. Just because this might convert our good cards into lands, which would piss me off. We've got Clairvoyance. I kind of like this card. Got Cloak of Feathers, 1 mana flying draw card. Seems good. We've got Consider. We've got Crash Through. Crimson Wisp, the haste and the draw. Disrupt. What do you think about Disrupt, Prax? Looks like you are muted, my friend.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I can't press the down arrow while holding control.
So this casts instant sorcery, unless it's a force spike for instant and sorceries, and it draws a card. The cool thing about Disrupt is that
that it's a force spike is okay, I guess.
I mean, think about it this way. If we go to Storm Off, and somebody casts something that we can't counter, or we don't have anything, or we just need to draw another card, you can always cast targeting your own spells.
That's true. So it might be good enough, yeah.
Right, just a cantrip. Or you cast it targeting your opponent's spells. They pay the 1, sure, and you just draw a card. So it's a 1 mana cantrip, but when we're playing a ward card, dude, it's so brutal when your opponent's like taps out their last 3, or maybe 5. They cast like a murder, and they pay 5, and they're all tapped out, and then you just force spike them because you've got ward. Holy shit. So I think Disrupt goes in. What about Dragon Mantle? This looks kind of good.
I like Dragon Mantle. I really like Dragon Mantle.
It cantrips. It's like an aura that gives us power. Got Expedite, Faithful Saluting. This is going in the deck for the reason we talked about. This is kind of interesting. We can play this out, immediately give it flying to give a +2/+0 flying from the prowess, or we can play it out, sack it, pay 1 to draw a card. So this can sit out and play, or we can play it all at once. I kind of like this one. This is going to be nice. Gitaxian Probe. Okay, here's another card. Here's another card that people overvalue and overplay in this format. This is, man, this stream is full of hot takes, but I'm speaking from the heart here. Gitaxian Probe is wildly overplayed. In a format with 30 life, you do not have 2 life to fuck around with. if you're the combo player, like, and that's really where these cards see play mostly, you just don't. So yeah, you can always pay the mana, but then like, is that really that good? To like 1 mana, you get to see somebody's hand, you draw a card. Gitaxian Probe is broken and banned in formats because people played 4 of them in a 60 card deck. So don't tell me it because it increases your odds of drawing things. It
Also,
does.
they played it in a deck that wasn't blue.
Yeah, I mean, that right. You could also play it outside your colors. Exactly. Yep. So you could play 4 of it. It was kind of like you played it in every single deck, and you played lots of it because it was just like made
That's
your
the
deck
actual
small.
reason. It was in every deck.
Yep. Yeah.
It didn't matter what color it was. It's the reason why Mental Misstep was banned and the new spell isn't.
Yep. That's right. Exactly. And the being able to cantrip and draw a card and make your deck smaller, have 4 cards in your deck that makes your deck smaller, in 60 cards is very different than a 1 card that makes your deck smaller in Singleton 99. So very carefully like think about whether you're going to play this card. If you really want to look at people's hand, I recommend instead playing Glasses of Urza, which is 1 colorless tap look. It's a colorless artifact. Tap, look at a player's hand, and we might play it here too.
I like what Alex Scott is saying. I do like that creature.
Yeah, so Alex Scott says the new Seba Cryptomancer. Oh yeah, Cryptomancer is going to be gasoline in this deck. Yeah, does a lot that we like. Gitaxian Probe here just being a free spell is why we like it. We need this. We want this. Leap.
In the deck, by the way.
Cryptomancer. Oh, good. Thank you. We've got Opt. We have Panic. I think Panic is great too. Panic Spellbomb for the same reason. Turning off blockers, drawing a card. They're both.
Did you add the best spell bomb?
Aether?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's in. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar it is. I think in this deck, having information on people's hands is going to be like really good, and they're all cantrips, so they're cheap. They're cantrips. Most of them are instant speed, and they're allowing us to get good free triggers. Pyrite Spellbomb is another option. These onboard tricks are useful. We could do Ray of Erasure is one we could look at in as well. It mills a card, and then you draw a card at your next upkeep. And this is useful as tech against certain decks, but it's ultimately just a 1 mana, cantrip kind of a thing. I don't know that it's good enough for this deck really, but Repeal is great. This is a main deck bounce spell for anything that draws a card, or it's 1 mana draw a card. You can target anything with it that's a non-land and just draw a card. You just won't bounce it. Ryle looks interesting. It's basically just giving trample. So actually that's just kind of bad, isn't it? We've already got trample. Renegade Tactics. Yep, Renegade Tactics.
We currently have 11. So it looks like 11 1-mana artifacts.
1 mana artifacts. Okay, that's quite a few.
Cricket Mage.
And you can see I'm starting to go through these pretty quickly here. I'm going to vocalize this for the folks who are... so Trinket Mage is great hits. Holy shit. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So some
Trinket
cards...
Mage hits so many good things for us.
Some more cards that I've added here for those of you listening later on in the audio is a Relic of Progenitus, because it's tutorable. It's Trinket Mage. It also cantrips. It's Graveyard Hate. Renegade Tactics is 1 red sorcery. Target creature can't block, draw a card. We've got Repeal, which is the X and a blue instant, return target non-land permanent with converted mana cost X to its owner's hand, draw a card. Sapphire Charm is a great card for this deck. Sapphire Charm, so good. Yeah, it's good in this deck for the same reason it's good in Sailor's Bane, right? Very similar approach. Yep. So Sapphire Charm is a blue instant, choose 1. Target player draws a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Target creature an opponent controls phases out, or target creature gains flying. So it's evasion, it's removal, or it's a cantrip. It's like, what else do you want from your card? We've got Serum Visions, just another card selection card. We've got Shadow Rift, gains Shadow, draw a card for 1. All good cards. We've got Slip Through Space, which is 1 mana for a devoid sorcery. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, draw a card. We've got Sorcerous Sight, which is the 1 blue. Look at your opponent's hand, draw a card for sorcery. What do you think about Sticky Fingers? Is this
I love Sticky Fingers.
Oh, if we get Double Strike, it's 2 treasures. There is that.
It's insane. All forms of menace are really good for us. We want them to be blocking unfavorably if they have to block.
Yeah, we don't need to kill people in 1 shot. We've got Timely. We don't want that. Warlord's Fury. 1 red sorcery. Creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. Draw a card. This is going to be great. Witching Well.
I'm not big on Witching Well. I don't know why. I just really haven't.
Kind of expensive. I just wish this were a little bit less. If this were Divination, 3 mana, draw 2, I would feel much better about it, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alex says, for the judges in chat, how do stickers work with transforming creatures? They will stay on the transformed creature. I can almost promise you. The stickers, only time that they disjoint from a creature is when they enter a zone that is not visible, I believe it is, or it's not viewable by your opponents.
That is not public knowledge.
Yeah, not public knowledge. Yeah, so private information. Yeah. So if it goes back to hand or if it goes into a library.
Thank you, Alex, for bringing up the thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. So what we're talking about.
If we get very lucky, we can have quadruple prowess on him.
So there's a way to look at this here, and I know some of you are groaning. Oh, stickers. Deal with it. Stickers are freaking insane in certain decks, and this is one of them.
Quadruple prowess.
We could get quadruple prowess, or there's a lot of other good stuff. So let's take a look at.
I'm just saying, that's just insane. 1 spell gives +4/+4.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's very strong. So the ones that we want here are Cursed Fire-Breathing Yogurt for quadruple prowess, which is fucking cracked. What does that even mean? So if we cast a single spell and it gives +1 power, say we Boots of Speed, and we don't even need to equip it. Boots of Speed is going to be, well, no, actually, if we did cast Boots of Speed and equipped it, then it's +4. So 7, 8 with the Boots of Speed. Any double strike spell means 20. Jeez.
Yep.
Gross. Whenever this attacks, scry 1, probably not. Haste, definitely. Not this. Untapped target permanent could be a form of vigilance. There's fire breathing here.
Happy Dead Squirrel.
Happy Dead Squirrel. Tap to add 2 to cast non-creature spells.
No.
Infect?
Yes.
But that's 3. We only get 2 stickers off of. We only get 2 tickets. We don't have to
spend them. We don't have to spend them if we have a way to get the spell back. And it instantly kills someone.
Oh.
Almost all the time.
Oh, so you're saying if we're able to get the spell back, then we can give infect by saying cast command performance, get 2 tickets.
Get 2 tickets.
Not attach anything. Yep, and then we get it back. I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but I see where you're going with that.
But it's just another, because we need to get 10 in the deck.
Yep.
And it's just another good ability that we could get.
The thing with this is with stickers that everybody has to remember is that stickers are only good when you have more stickers to choose from than you need. When you have to cut stickers. So Sailor's Bane is that way. Sailor's Bane has 12 stickers that you could pick from that are all good. And that means that if you ever get command performance, then the random 3 that you got are gonna be solid anyway. So Menace here, Lifelink, sign me up. I want to hit somebody for 15 and gain that life. That'd be fun. Whenever you cast a spell, this creature gets +X/+X, where X is the generic mana cost and that spell's mana cost. So this right here translates to basically another form of prowess, right?
Did you add Squishy Sphinx Ninja?
Squishy Sphinx Ninja. I don't think I've gotten there yet. Ward 2. Oh, we definitely want Ward 2.
And then there's one that gives Death Touch, which is...
Oh my god, Bushido. Bushido's pretty funny too.
Bushido's pretty funny.
Unblockable is what that reads. And then Vigilance is kind of interesting. Ward 2.
Is great. It's a trample creature. Death Touch is insane.
It could be. Yep, I'm open to that. I don't like this one anywhere near the other ones, but if it's
just another If we have to get to a point where it's enough, we need enough stickers, it's fine.
Um, switch power and toughness. No. Double exalted.
Yeah, I was about to say double exalted.
Insane. Insane.
The heroic one.
Heroic. I see. We've got so many good ones that we're definitely not going to need anything.
Yeah, we're not going to need anything
No.
extra at all.
This one right here, whatever it attacks, +1/+0 is.
I just got there yet.
Yeah, that one's perfectly fine too.
And we have a mana. There's a mana sink one as well.
Yep, this one can't block. First strike. I like this one that says don't block. That's just a form of like a mana sink that leads into unblockability. So yeah, let's back up for a second here and take a look at how many. So like 17. You can only run 10. So like.
Oh yeah, this deck is the perfect deck.
We're definitely playing stickers. Yeah. The command performance is too good. So then the shitty ones are Death Touch goes. We double exalted's great. Heroic is 2+1/+1 counters. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, the heroic one is the heroic one. I don't think we can cut.
I think this one, the plus oh boy. This one is, yeah, no, we don't play that. Mentor, we don't play that. Fire breathing, I don't even think is going to be good enough. Haste is good. Prowess, vigilance, ward, exalted. So fire breathing goes. I mean, all of these are cracked. Whenever it attacks, +1/+1 counter, not good enough. We've got better. Although maybe it is better than making things not block. I don't know. It's just so cheap and it's colorless. You know what this also says? Wow, we can make other people's stuff not block other people's stuff.
No, the Wrinkly Monkey says this creature.
Okay. Maybe then the +1/+1 is better. Bushido also doesn't improve power, but it does kind of mean that if you try to block it, it's not going to go well for you. Wow. Okay, we're going to come back to this. This is tertiary. But this is cool. I like this a lot. The infect one is probably going to go. We don't have it here.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's just too much screwing around to get it to work. Let's start organizing these cards again. We're going to have draw. And some of these are evasion as well, so we'll get in there and do that too. Draw. Clairvoyance is a peak. We'll come back and fix that. Consider. Crimson Wisps. Disrupt. Expedite. Leap, opt, panic, draw. I think I broke the software. 1 sec. All right, let's reload here.
Yeah, it takes a bit sometimes.
I think I dragged a card while it was in the process of being delivered to its destination. There's a moment where it kind of hangs up for a sec. Preordain. Renegade Tactics. And some of these ones like Renegade Tactics might seem silly, but if your opponent has like a staunch Throne Guard, you're going to be happy that that you were able to make it so that it couldn't block, because then you're actually translating to a lot more damage that you otherwise wouldn't have dealt. So opt. Okay, and then we've got draw. Holy smokes, that's a lot of draw. That is a lot of draw. I don't think Sticky Fingers counts as draw because it's not draw when we want it to be. It's only draw when when our opponent kills our stuff. So this one is going to be evasion. Panic Spellbomb is evasion. Pirate Spellbomb is going to be removal. This is going to be graveyard hate. This is evasion. Sticky Fingers might not make the cut for that reason. We'll have to see. Opt. Let's see. Untagged instance.
There's just not a lot of ways to give menace, and menace is so good in the Voltron deck.
That's true. Yep, that's true. We're at 103. We have 31. 31 cantrips. Oh wow! Look at all the people here. 17 people.
12 of them are stickers.
Just want to tell you all, no, I love you. You guys are great for being here. 17 of you. That's better numbers than we've had for a little bit. And I really appreciate you all being here. So thanks. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. So, and this is only the 1 mana ones. So I was looking at CMC equals 2, O, draw. And there's actually a number of cards in here I really like too. Like we could do Accelerate as an option. We have Arcane Denial, obviously going to go on the deck. It's just an amazing spell. Bitter Reunion is so sick in this deck. You know, looting on an enchantment and then having this in-play ability to give haste is so very gross. Cartouche of Knowledge, also gross. Douglas Wilson says, love watching you build. Can you go back over the commander? Absolutely, yeah. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Let's pull it up here. We got Kenra Spellspear. And so it's a 1 and a red for a Jackal Warrior, 2/2 Trample Prowess. And then there's 3 and a Phyrexian blue to flip it. And this is what we really care about. So I'll pull this up in big, which is we have a 3/3 Trample Ward 2 double Prowess. Prowess. That's the commander. And so you can see the things to like here: built-in evasion, built-in protection, built-in way to grow really fast. So there you go. So Cartouche of Knowledge seems amazing in this deck. It's like power, it's drawing, it's cheap. Cathartic Reunion could go in, although discarding 2 might not feel good all the time. Cleansing Wildfire isn't terrible. Being able to tag an Opal Palace or a Gretchen combo land is kind of interesting while drawing a card.
Actually, yeah, I completely forgot that a card exists.
Yeah, this card's a really good card to play in your red decks. If you're in red and you aren't in black, and if you're in red and you're not in blue, this is always something you should consider. Because if you're in red-black, then you want to play Wrecking Ball, which is 2 red-black instant, destroy target creature or land at instant speed. If you're in blue, then you play Boomerang, double blue, bounce target permanent at instant speed. And the reason we play these is you can bounce the land that the Gretchen has all their auras attached to, and it literally ends their game on the spot, which is great. Brings me great joy to do such an awful thing to somebody. We're going to play Confound, 1 and a blue instant counter target spell that targets 1 or more creatures. Draw a card. This can counter your opponent's stuff. You can counter a Freed from the Real. You can counter a Presence of Gond. You can do all sorts of stuff with this while also drawing a card and protecting your own stuff. Alex Scott says, how do we feel about Kessig Flamebreather and Firebrand Archer? I don't know. Praxiya, what do you think of those cards? Do they fit here if we're trying to win through commander damage?
I don't think they fit really for what we're trying to do in this version of the deck. In the other version that we were talking about, where you could build it as an Izzet Spellstalker deck, yes, definitely, they definitely fit in that.
Yeah, I think that there could be states in the game where maybe we've puttered out a little bit. Maybe we didn't get enough lands. Maybe we got disrupted twice. We weren't able to deliver, and the life totals are still going down, and we have those. I don't know. I'm not sold on them. I would rather actually play something in those spots that can like block, because those things don't block very well, and they would also give us a card. Because I think we really are we're all in on Spellstalker. If you want to do if you want to do a diversified game plan, I don't think this is the commander to do it with. You want to go and play Livaan. That's a much better commander for what for that strategy. Faithless Salvaging seems great. Rebound is going to give us a second trigger, so anything that rebounds is going to be worth looking into. Fathom Seer is kind of a cool card. This is basically Gush attached to a 1/3 for 2 mana, and the morph cost is returning 2 islands. So Fathom Seer is actually pretty cool. I like this card. Fire Prophecy for our removal is going to be a good one, because we do a lot of cantripping, and being able to take our land, put it to the bottom, draw a new card while killing something is great. Fists of Flame is going to be fucked up. Cantrip, Fists of Flame, just like smear somebody super bad. It's a 1 and a red instant, draw a card until end of turn. Target creature gains +1 trample and +1/+1 for each card you've drawn this turn. Does this say?
By the way, Force Away works in our deck.
Huh?
Force Away.
Yeah, Force Away is great. I love this card. Play this in Sailor's Bane. 1 and a blue instant, return target creature to its owner's hand. Ferocious, so if you have a power 4 or greater, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. The casting of this spell causes our commander to be 4 or more power. So that's a good one. Let's see.
Looks like someone joined the chat, by the way.
Hello.
Oh, who do we got here? Let's see.
It's me.
Hey, Arya, how you doing? Hey, so we are
Good.
actually live streaming right now. So if you'd hop out and hop
Oh,
in
I'm
chat,
sorry.
that'd be the best way. Yeah, no worries, no worries. We had to do it this way just because of some problems we had through Discord. So, yeah, good to see you though.
Have a good.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we got Ideas Unbound is another one we could look at. This is basically like a looting spell. You only have to discard the cards at end of turn. Could kind of punish us though. Inside Out. Is it Charm?
Into the Royal and Is it Charm?
I don't know about Into the Royal.
It's a little expensive, yeah. But Is it Charm is...
I like Is it Charm. Yep. Yep. Now, Into the Royal and Blink of an Eye used to be really like staple spells for me. And the reason I don't play them frequently anymore is because there's good removal that's like more permanent. And the cards that I usually run in those spots are Echoing Truth and Boomerang. And I rarely pay the kicker on Into the Royal. It's just hard to do that while also playing a normal game of Magic. But we'll throw these in considering. Keep Safe seems great. 2, counter target spell that targets a permanent you control, draw a card. Latnam's Legacy is a cool one. Choose a card from your hand, shuffle it into your library, and then draw 2 cards at the beginning of your next upkeep. Oh, it's next upkeep. We don't want that. We've got mine. No, we don't want these here. Let's see. Hey, Kelp, just a heads up, we are live streaming right now. So
oh, shit. Sorry.
That's okay. You're fine. You can hop in chat and we'll and participate that way.
I want to make an announcement.
Yeah, there's no way to lock the. Let's see. It's totally fine. It's fine. People will hop in here, and that's okay. We just if I take us over to recording, then you'll be muted because of the way we have the permissions, which is dumb and frustrating, but it is the way it is. So, okay. So we've got, and actually, just Kelp, just so that we don't incentivize other people to hop on in. Would you leave that? Thank you. Perfect. Awesome. Everybody's being so good. So Omen of the Sea is 2 mana instant flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, scry 2, draw a card, and then you can sack it to scry 2 later on. This is kind of interesting. We have, let's see. Arya says Gitaxian Spellstalker needs a lot of really potent creatures to keep up pressure and save Spellstalker from Edict. Yeah, so that's one way to look at it. We might consider playing some, I don't know. I think it's all about the Spellstalker in this deck, and that the creatures that are on the periphery are all there to either draw cards or eat edicts. Hey, what's up, Kelp and Arya? Good to see you. Thanks for being flexible there. I know I'm in a public channel here on the old Discord, but yeah.
So I'm thinking of that. Do we want to run the Crab Investigate card?
Yes, I think Craven Inspector, which is the nickname for Hard Evidence, is the card that we definitely want to play that. Let's see. Kelp says, sorry about that. Oh no, don't worry about it at all. I knew that when we went into this particular voice chat that we were gonna have people jumping in to say hi and everything, and it's just a matter of like we have some permissions problems in the channel, and it doesn't allow Prax to speak. Or anybody to speak in our recording channel, which is something I didn't want to deal with. So Arya says, how about that 3 mana prowess creature that draws cards on combat damage? I don't think we want to, well,
I don't think we want Jessica Sage.
We could play some of these. There's also Jessian Thief and all that. I just don't know. I feel like they...
Can I sell you one Thakkalos Seer in this deck?
No. See, this is an inside joke of Prax and I's. Because Prax has been trying to sell me on Thakkalos Seal or Thakkalos.
I don't know how to say it.
I think it was Thakkalos Seer, which is a blue 1/1 shadow, and it's when it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. He likes it for real surreal, and I have a hard time stomaching it. So there's that. We've got Sea Beyond is actually a card that I didn't realize existed. This is basically like a looting spell. And I like that you draw the cards and then shuffle a card away. And it is a shuffle for Brainstorm.
We can shuffle a land in.
Yep, shuffle a land away, exactly. And we get to see whether we get a land first instead of looting away cards and then drawing lands, which feels like shit. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's see. Arya says, I guess if you don't really want to cast creatures and spells that make bodies like hard evidence should be good. Exactly. So we're looking for cards that provide a blocker and some form of card advantage while triggering Spellstalker. And this is going to be slightly higher variance in the fact that like our commander is everything, and if people really want to stop it, they may be able to do that. So just keep that in mind. But we're saying basically that the power of this commander is worth it. It's powerful enough that we're willing to pay that price. There it is, Thalakosir. Yep, Thalakosir. Now, Modern Age seems great.
Yeah, I was gonna say Modern Age seems great.
Yeah, non-creature spell, loots twice. You actually loot. So the funny thing is, you do loot before you draw, which is unfortunate because of the way sus. Oh wait, no, that's not true. You loot after you draw. No, sorry, that's why I like this card so much. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, so the way sagas trigger is they trigger after you draw, so right before your main phase. So this is great. And because looting is decent, and then it makes into a 2/3 body for flying, which is going to eat edicts. So,
what do you think about Volcanic Spite?
Volcanic Spite. Let's get there. So think twice. Just going to add that because I'm moving down the list here. Think twice is going to be nice because we are actually looting. So we're mostly going to be looting away lands, but being able to pitch this into the graveyard is going to be good. Araya says, the Modern Age is a funny card. My problem with it is it's always been slow, but PDH has the benefit of being able to play slow, so it should perform. Yeah, so in Pauper Commander, or in Pauper, Modern Age is still good, but it is slow. You play it on turn 2, and it doesn't turn into a creature for a long while. You trigger it the first time, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 it can attack. But it is a blocker, and it is a flyer. And it's a pretty damn good card. It's amazing in my Esper Reanimator deck using Spined Megalodon and all that shit. Araya says, are we running Lava Spike? We are not. Not Lava Dart. I think Lava Dart's what you're thinking of, but we're not running Lava Dart. We could. We haven't gotten to the removal yet. Thrill of Possibility, Tolarian Winds. Tolarian Winds is kind of weird because like this card is only good when our hand is bad.
Yeah, did we put Artful Dodge in?
We have not. We've not gotten to the evasion yet. I'm just going through piece by piece here. We have Updraft.
I've switched over to looking at flashback spells currently on Scryfall to see for our all of our looting stuff to see what we can get to.
Artful Dodge will be in there. Volcanic Spite is the functional copy, the functional reprint of Fire Prophecy, and I really like this in this deck. I really like this effect. Wedding Invitation is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wedding Invitation.
Yeah, draw a card unblockable. This is slip through space for 2. But it's on board, meaning we can pop it whenever we need to. Okay. Are there any other spells that modify base power and toughness that we want? I think they're 3 mana. We really just want it to be a draw spell. I think there's one. It's the new Suit Up. Yep, Suit Up makes it into a 4/5. That's not very good. Phantasmal Form. Nope. This is Artifact. Nope, we don't want that. Are we running stuff like Fist of Flame? Yep, we got Fist of Flame. Although Fist of Flame kind of loses a lot of usefulness in this deck because Fist of Flame only... Well... Oh, sorry. No. Fist of Flame is the one. I'm thinking of Ancestral Anger. Ancestral Anger is still really good, but the Trample, we already have Trample on our commander. So, okay, cool. So now we're at 126 cards. You can see we're rapidly climbing the ladder here.
We always do.
We always do, yeah. It's a common mistake of mine, those of you who have watched a number of these Let's Builds, for me to, at some point, comment on the fact that, oh, this is looking like it's going to be kind of straightforward and easy. And then we're, like, really struggling when it comes to making cuts. Always, 100% of the time. My hubris comes and bites me. It's not so much hubris as it is, it's just a desire to see a deck that is easy to build. But they never are. And nothing worth doing ever is easy. So... That's we're committed to tackling the hard stuff. Okay, I need to take a quick bathroom break. So Prax, would you take the stream over for a second here and talk about some of the stuff that you're excited about, and then we can recap when I come back?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Prax. It's going to take me a moment here. I'll be right back. See you on set.
No, Aria, we have not done the land base just yet. We've done some of the non-basics. we have. Let me get to it. In my version of the list. Sorry, I can't modify his. We haven't added them yet, but we're thinking. No, Alex, I'm not adding foil. Foil's a bad card. We're not adding a foil as well. We haven't really gone over the land base yet, because he likes to do lands after all of this. If anyone has any questions, I can answer what I know. Fine. I've added 100 foils.
All
Uncommon
right.
one?
I'm
Not
back.
really. I've not seen really any other than this one. This one makes me very happy. Oh,
We're going to do
I
a
don't know
quick
if we want-
metamorphosis here for
I don't know if
chat's
we wanna talk
benefit.
about it.
It is
But the-
time to transform.
That black creature. I really like that black creature.
Let's see, we had a couple of comments here we can catch up on. Got add a quick foil while he isn't looking. Haha, Alex, you sneak. Everybody
Well, I
says
wanna
it's
check
bad
the
till
deck.
they're tapped out.
I
So
don't wanna check the deck.
one thing, yeah. So we've got 100 copies of foil. Is that what I just heard? Yep, I see 220.
100 foil copies of foil.
Oh my god.
Deck
Oh
is now
god.
$4,000.
Now I do want to be clear. I don't. Oh, look at this, chat. Look what you've done. Look at
Deck is now $4,000.
Oh my god, foil for. Oh my god, what's happened? Sorry, I'm giving you all like motion sickness now. So it's not that I don't like foil, okay? It's that foil takes a very specific deck. That deck probably needs to be mostly like 80%, if not mono blue. And that deck needs to actually have enough it needs to have enough lands in it that it works. So like I don't even play foil in Sailor's Bane because the deck has 28 fucking lands.
Yeah, it's not.
You're not reliably having it. No, it doesn't work. And for a deck like this, we're gonna have so much. We're gonna be 50-50 red and blue. So the number of times when we don't have an island is going to be really annoying. And then when you have an island and you finally draw a land and you want to play that land, you can't because it turns your counterspell off. And then you're sitting there with like a force of will. It just feels really bad. I think that's part of it. Now there are a couple of good decks for it. Murmuring Mystic is one of them. Avalanche Caller is another one. Gretchen is another one. Probably Weavers, absolutely Tatiova. It's just a very good spell in that case. You can also play foil in any deck where you need to protect your stuff on turn one. But yeah, we're going to cut these. Sorry, foil enjoyers and enthusiasts. Let's see, we got some other stuff. We've got Kelp saying, yes, don't add one, add two. Neodust says, any fun commanders you've been seeing lately that you didn't expect? Yeah, could briefly dip into that. A couple of commanders that I've been really impressed by lately that I've been seeing are Hammers of Moradin. Is a pretty cool one that I've seen. Just applies a lot of pressure over and over and over, which is great. Another deck that I've been really, I'm going to talk about my favorite deck right now, and that is Third Path Iconoclast. Third Path Iconoclast is one of the best decks I've ever played in CPDH. And not this isn't trying to toot my own horn or anything. It's just to say like this is like the deck that I play right now, and it's gross. I didn't think I was gonna like Curiosity decks, and this is a really cool deck. So I'm enjoying that. I was
I'll toot your
really.
horn.
Huh?
Quixotic finisher.
Oh, have you been playing it?
Yes.
Okay, let me pull this up here for the mono red chat enjoyers out there. It's so funny though. We've got these mono red enjoyers in our server who don't like this, and I'm like, why? Why don't you? This is like
Because it's not mono red.
it's like red brown. Like how is this not?
It's an artifact deck. I like it because I am the artifact maniac at my store.
Dude,
That's
this
all I care about.
this card is absolutely absolutely awesome and insane. I really like playing this card. This commander is a big boy, and he slap hard. And the great thing about him, sorry, I have to adjust something with the interface here so that all of your chats are visible. There we go. But basically, he's got an effect that basically makes all of your equipment into permanent rituals. And if you don't think that's good, you've got something. Your brain is loose. This card, like, it regularly comes down on turn 3. And the cool thing is that all this equipment, any other creature in the deck that you play, all the equipment goes on that creature, and you always have a threat to play. That's its card advantage. Is your equipment is always making any creature you have is big, and it hits hard. You got Slagwood armor, and you got Bone Splitter, and it's like, here's my, 10-5 vigilance trampling Lacklith grunt or something,
I like to play it when someone tells me that you need to spend mana to have a very competitive.
Yeah, well, I mean this is a
money.
Yeah, so this deck I do want to flex actually that this deck is very inexpensive. Let's go pull it up here. Oxida. Oxida Finisher is a $21 deck. 21 bucks.
15 when I bought it.
Yeah, it was 13 when we built it, I think, or 12. I think the new card that we added was something that increased the cost. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, not to get too distracted here. Let's go back to the deck here. We've got a couple of comments here. So yeah, Neo, that's a couple of the good ones I like right now. Real Surreal is great. That's another one that I play a lot of. That I, the Praxiya and I have worked on a ton. Passageway Seer is another deck that I'm really enjoying. Just like simple mono black initiative aggro is effective. It's got good game theory. It's simple and it's cheap. I mean, that deck is cheap too. Thrall Parasite for mono black control is another thing I'm playing a lot. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Black. I like that new 7 mana flash dude.
Oh, I should
really
also
want to play him.
I should also say too, another one that I've been impressed by is Dragon's Rage Channeler. First time I played against my own deck from a live stream, and I lost to it like intensely. So Dragon's Rage Channeler is an amazing commander. It's a good one. So Alex says, I was comboing off with Tatiova. My buddy tried to remove it. I opted, bottomed the card, drew foil, and saved it. I mean, yeah, Tatiova is a great commander for foil. Absolutely. Because most of it's islands. And you've got the duels as well, both the snow and the normal. Oxida Finisher is a baller, says Islane. Yeah, it is a big boy. And, I do want to mention, too, Oxida Finisher has this, like, really weird element to it where, like, it has 15 removal or sweeper effects. Like, and like, a lot of these are repeatable, and a lot of these also kill players. Fling kills a player. It also kills creatures. It also saves your commander if there's a new oubliette. Spike Shot Goblin, Lackalith Grunt, and Lackalith Whelp are all repeatable sources of removal, which is really sick. Kruk Clan Shaman, if you load it up with a Slagwood armor, is a repeatable sweeper. It's a pretty damn cool deck. It's I definitely recommend giving it a spin if you're a mono red Chad. Yeah, Neo says big boys with big toys. Ooh, I like that. I mean, somebody gave us the name Guerrilla Tactics, which kind of had to stay, but it's also like the other names, like Harambe's Revenge. because it's not an ogre, it's a fucking gorilla. Come on, Watsy, what were you smoking when you made this? I wish I had that little picture of that crazy cracked out looking person. And then the other one would be big boys plus big toys. Yeah, that's a great name. We're gonna do that. Cool. Long name with many extra names. Yeah, Kelp says a full $21. What? Too expensive for my taste. DRC is a great card. Yeah. Okay, back to the deck. I love getting lost in the sauce with y'all. I really do. This isn't a reprimand. This is just a gentle refocusing of the attention, because my attention also wanders, and that's why you guys are supposed to help me keep on track. Okay. Islane says mine is get out of my swamp. Ogres have layers. That's good. But you know what? We can't perpetuate the lie that it's an ogre. Stop perpetuating that lie. It's a fucking gorilla. Come on, guys. Okay. Let's get back to it. We have added a metric crap ton of cards, and they can't all stay. Okay. This is going to be
2 sweepers.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're probably going to want more than that, right?
Yeah, but I just added the 2 that I could find with that were the highest damage.
Yep. Islane said, wait, oh my God. Alex Scott, the ADHD is rampant and I'm here for it. Dude, guys, I am ADHD on like multiple levels. I have one sec, let me find this, one sec. Okay, I found it, chat. This book right here, I think it's a little outdated, but it was actually pretty good. Healing ADHD. The breakthrough progress, it allows you to see the 6 types of ADHD, and it talks about 6 different kinds. And in this book, they talk about how hitting your noggin, head trauma, can cause ADHD. Well, I was born with ADHD, like verifiable. When they did the whole like assessment on me, took 2 days with a psych analysis, and they like looked at video footage of me as a kid, and I was literally like, the whole class is like acting normal with the teacher, and I'm like sitting in the corner, like just like staring off into nothing while I'm like touching myself on the face with like a pillowcase. So I was ADHD from the very get-go, and then I hit my head several times. I've had a lot of really bad concussions, and so yeah, I have squirrel level attention span. You can see why a person like me who just needs stimulus would do well in the magic sphere. So I'm glad that you're here for it, Alex. Yeah, that's what I love. Islane says, "Oh, I had 2 because it says it on the card." And Shrek is still amazing. Yeah, Shrek is a great movie. Good intro. Austin, what's up? Hey, playing some PDH at a buddy's, but popping in to say hi, dude. Austin, put us up for your friends. Do the little, set up your phone, and you can see, and we can serenade you with our nerd voices while you guys play PDH. And Neodust says Pauper chat equals better than Pauper build. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I mean, building decks. Some people don't even play Magic; they just build decks. Okay. Me as I pound like 100 milligrams of magnesium so I can chill out here a little bit. Okay, draw. Keep safe is protection, but it's also draw. We'll come back to that. This is the first counter spell. We have Cartouche of Knowledge, which is draw. We're going to have to come back and get all this stuff in its right place. Actually, while I do this, Prax, would you help reorganize the things in the background?
Yeah.
On your end?
You want me to tag things?
Yeah, start tagging things that I miss. I'm just organizing them into tags right now, but so a lot of them have multiple tags. So draw. And we haven't even gotten into the rebound effects yet. Draw, thrill of possibility. We have so much draw. Holy crap. This is draw, but it's removal.
We have 39.
Kelp says, I can't find a card that I know I have. Ack. Oh, I hate that feeling. Hey, Breaking Bob. Guten Tag, wie geht's? Wo kommst du? Is that it? How are you? Breaking Bob is our friend from Germany, good friend of ours. So good morning together, live stream. Here we go. That's right, baby. Yeah, you got in at the exciting part. So we're gonna do creatures. You know, with all this good draw, Fathom Seer is almost starting to look kind of silly. But I don't know. We'll see. Evasion. Relic is also draw. Pyrite Spellbomb is
Dear
removal.
Lord,
What's that?
you're currently at, as of right now, where I am with the reload, we have 50 cards tagged as draw.
Yes, many. Many chickens. Look at all those chickens. Oh my god, I can tell this stream is going to be so fucking spastic. uh, welcome to my world and my brain, chat. Oh boy, it's a good one. It's a good thing. Okay, we got this one, which is also Evasion, which I think I already got. We had Izzet Charm, which is a counter spell, as well as a loot. It's also a removal. We have Modern Age, which is also a creature. We have Force Away, which is also a removal, which is also a draw. We have Confound, which is protection. We have Slip Through Space, which is evasion. Yeah, we are going to want to know the haste as well. Going to want to know how many haste effects we have. Unblockability, that's evasion. Sapphire Charm is evasion. Sapphire Charm is also removal. Repeal is also removal as well as draw. Renegade Tactics, kind of like evasion, but we're not going to mark it that way. Maybe we will. Yeah, we'll do that. Evasion, evasion. Leap is evasion. Crimson Wisps is haste. This is a counter spell. Dragon Mantle is just a pump. Expedite is a haste. This is evasion. There it is. And Ancestral Anger. Okay, cool. Sweet. Removal. There we go. Okay, cool. So, oh my God, so many more chats here. V Gates, that's right. Yeah, V Gates is in German is an easy way to say what's up. You can also say that is cool by saying das ist toll. Das ist toll. It's like German lingo. John says, "Ha, glad to see those German classes put to good use." Yeah, actually, Breaking Bob, you'll be happy to know that John Allen, the person in the chat right below you, he and I took 3 years of German together, I think it was. And I've been to Germany twice actually. Ich gehe zu Berlin und Dresden im 2000. Oh boy, I don't know how do I do this? It's 2000. It's not einzig. It's 11. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Einzehn. Is that right? 11? Oh my God, Breaking Bob, you got to tell me if I'm right on this. Alex Scott says I was brewing with my buddy until 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, and he thought it is energy exactly like this. Yeah, hectic 2 a.m. energy. Elf. Oh wow, I had that totally wrong. Yeah, einzig is 100 and like 101 or something. Anyways, elf. John's got me. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop trying to speak German here. Okay, we got protection. We don't even have like our hexproof spells.
Oh God, we haven't added that stuff.
What's that?
I've just realized we haven't added hexproof or more flashback stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, Cradle of Safety is kind of interesting, giving +1 power, but it's like twice as much mana. So the Legolas number, that's right, John. That's a good way to think about it. But I think Legolas killed a lot more than 11 Uruk-hai in the Battle of Helm's Deep. So I don't think Elf makes sense as much as it would have to be like Elf Zane, like 1011. We got Shore Up is going to be incredible. That's the best one we got. Mizium Skin still playable. You see a guard approach can tap down creatures as well, so I like that. We could think about Starlit Mantle and Cradle of Safety as well if we want to focus more on like protection than counter spells, which could be fine. Yeah, I wonder how many people I lost here in the live chat by going on that rant. A little bit. That's okay. Well, fuck it. Okay. What What do we got here? So counter spells. So yeah, let's go through the counter spells. We're gonna play Dispel. Get it? Dispel. And we probably play Spell Pierce. This is one of the few decks where I actually like Spell Pierce, because with Ward, it's really effective. When your opponents have to pay mana to target your creature, having something like this, it's like 3 or 2 mana, is really effective at preventing them from doing what they want to do. So protection's going to go here. You see a guard approach under protection. Breath weapon and fiery cannonade is going to be sweepers. And actually, would you add as well? Would you add the swirling sandstorm to this?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was about
Awesome.
to. I was just about to.
Thank you. If we are going to play any creatures, I'm kind of interested in playing Wee Dragonauts and Enigma Drake type stuff. Like flyers. But yeah. Okay, removal. So let's actually get Scred, and we're going to get Bolt in here as well. Oh, man, it's always so hard to find Lightning Bolt. You have to spell the whole thing out. Otherwise, it gives you every lightning effect ever printed, which is too many. Flame Slash, probably. We could also do Magmatic Sinkhole. Magmatic Sinkhole is going to be great in this deck. What are some other cheap instant ones? We've got...
Shock.
Fiery Impulse, and we've got Frostbite. Those are the ones. And these are going to go under removal. You can see we're going to get all the way up to like 150 cards before we start going down again. And that's really where the rubber meets the pavement. That's when you figure out exactly what your deck is doing. That's when you pick a lane and stick to it, because you can't do everything. Yeah, Breaking Bob. The commander that we're doing today is called Kenra Spellspear. And Kenra Spellspear is a 2-mana trample prowess 2/2. You can pay 3 and a blue Phyrexian to transform it. So it's not about this, it's about the thing it turns into. And that is a 3/3 trample ward 2 prowess, which is nuts. And the reason we're interested in building this deck is because Distortion Strike plus Assault Strobe is lethal. And that's very cool. Das ist sehr toll. Okay, Fire Prophecy is removal. Where's the Volcanic Spite? There we go. That's removal. Okay. Got a bunch of haste stuff here. I wonder with the haste, though. Haste is a little bit funky if we're paying any more than 1 mana for it, because I presume we're casting haste because our commander has died once, but we have enough money to cast. When are we going to have enough mana to cast it, flip it, haste it, and protect it? Is that ever going to happen?
I don't think so.
So is there a reason why we're playing any haste at all? I think that kind of makes me think we aren't.
I don't think so either, but I think we want to get some stuff. Do we want to get more things in before we start cutting?
Yeah, I just was realizing that that the haste is like kind of unrealistic, like for the first cast or the second cast. So although we do have trample, so I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Yeah.
Haunted Cloak is fine.
Haunted Cloak, yeah, that's fine.
Haunted Cloak and Strider Harness, I'm fine with. The other stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, even those, to a degree, because the thing is that all it's really giving us is vigilance. I think I'm just gonna make a bit of an executive decision here. I think these aren't gonna make it because the haste is just not actually gonna be relevant. We are gonna have to have a turn before we can kill somebody. So yeah. Let's pull these out. Haunted Cloak, Vigilance is cool. I like Vigilance. Maybe it's worth it, but let's put it in considering for now. And even like, I don't know, anything over 2 mana that doesn't draw doesn't cut it. Derpy Panda says cantrips are decent in the deck. Anything over 2 mana doesn't draw doesn't cut it. Yeah, I think that's true. The only thing that would be an example of something that does is when it's equipment, because it's getting 2 triggers, right? It's like buffing our power twice. Prowess, and then it comes in and you equip it, and then you can equip it over and over. So if our commander dies, we can just recast it or re-equip.
Be the douchebag at the table playing Vanishing.
Vanishing. I mean, Yeah, for those
You
of you who
want to be
don't
the
know,
douchebag that's scared of
oubliette,
playing Vanishing.
there are several oubliettes in this format, and the most toxic of all of them is Vanishing. It's 1 blue for an aura. You put it on a creature, your own or somebody else's. You can pay 2 blue to phase a creature out, and phasing takes anything attached to it with it. So if you vanishing somebody's commander and they go to blow it up with Return to Nature, you go 2 blue, flicker it out, activated ability, and then they they have no way to destroy the vanishing. It's a really toxic card. I don't think we're playing this. This isn't what we're doing. But it's a fun idea. So you got
Which is
Swirling
why I asked, do
Sandstorm.
we want to be the douchebags that run it?
Yeah, I don't think we are the douchebags that are running it, and I don't think it's actively good in the deck. So we've got our easy answers there. We're gonna do Dive Down, Protection. Sweepers are good here. Okay, we got to cut 37 cards. I actually feel like the core of the deck's pretty solid, though. We're probably going to want 15 removals,
Did
probably
we add the
15
unblockability
total.
spells? Yep.
No. Oh, yeah. So we actually, just so you all know, can't be blocked. So you do can't blocked. Yeah, can't blocked is what you need to. You can't look unblockable. There's unblockable is errated out. There's nothing. There is no keyword or terminology for that. It's can't be blocked is officially it. Aqueous form is nuts, right? Just totally stupid. Oh, yeah. Artful dodge is nuts. Awesome presence is kind of funny. It can't be blocked unless a defending player pays an additional 3 for each creature assigned to block it. So they have to.
That's mana if we give it menace.
I mean, but if we already have trample, like,
oh, yeah.
I think this is actually, that's good enough.
Clout of the Dominus.
Yep, Clout of the Dominus is Shroud and plus, well, it's actually +4/+4.
It's +4/+4 when we
yeah, but it's, and we have trample, so that's okay. So Shroud is great regardless. Gains phasing and can't be blocked except by walls. Phasing though. So phasing means it's gonna, does it phase out right away?
No, phases out during the phasing step.
That's not good. We want to be able to kill somebody every turn, right? Yeah. Yes. These unblockable effects, like just permanent unblockability, are very interesting to me. Because then we don't have to be like super rushed. We just cast it, or we don't have to work hard to like produce a lethal strike necessarily. Dust Corona, the auras. Basically, this is 1 mana, 4 power. So this is actually 1 mana, 8 power if we double strike, which is pretty gross. Can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. If we grant it flying, it's unblockable, which is pretty funny. And actually, there's a lot more effects like this that we need to look into that do that same thing.
I'm also looking at menace stuff.
Yeah, menace might be another one we could do. Infiltrate, target creature is unblockable this turn. That could play. Invisibility can't be blocked except by walls could play. Actually, we'll just throw it in there. This Mage Mark, creatures you control that are enchanted get +1/+1 and can't be blocked except creatures with Defender. So this one is +1/+1, and this Security Bypass is a great idea. Good job, Alex Scott. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, Security Bypass.
Hey, look, it's your favorite card.
Which one?
Keymaster Rogue. You know this card.
Oh, yeah, I love that card.
Yeah. Breaking Bob says, have the 1 mana rebound. Yep, the Distortion Strike is in the deck. We are currently looking for Security Bypass and anything that gives 2 or less mana unblockability, ideally permanently. That's the goal. This does give Shroud, unblockable and Shroud for 4. I mean, maybe because our commander has Ward, maybe we can actually play that. That's pretty fucked up, but like, I'm going to throw it in. I think this won't make the cut, but I'm just interested. What about this one right here? Sea Hag. 2 creatures get +1/+0 and can't be blocked for 3, so it's not the greatest rate, and it's only a
5 plus
one-time
is
thing.
normal.
But when it enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -4, -0, so it's kind of slows everything down. There's security bypass. We could throw this in
In the deck,
considering.
I added security bypass just to the deck.
Oh, good, you did. Okay, cool. I'll do that. I'll make sure it's there. What about
You wanted it considering?
security bypass goes in the main.
Okay, it's in.
Cool. Sword Coast Serpent is potentially good. We have like the mission, stealth mission, and Tigem Strike. Rebound. Holy crap.
Tigem Strike.
That's nasty, dude. So Tigem Strike and Distortion Strike are just straight lethal with any double strike spell, and they kill 2 players. Yes, let's go. I love it. That is where we want to be. Tricks of the Trade is a one-time +2/+0 unblockable, but it's 4 mana. Veil of Secrecy is a card I really like. Okay, this is Shroud and unblockability. This is a really good card. Like that a lot. What is red? Can't be blocked? Oh, weird. Wait, this is an unblockable red creature?
Which one?
Oh, you have to sack it after you do that, though. That's so terrible.
Yeah.
Varchild's Crusader. What a terrible card. Holy Moses. Writ of Passage. Nope, we can't play that. You Come to a River is great. We're definitely playing You Come to a River. This is a modal bounce and unblockability spell that gives +1 power. So, okay, cool. So we got that out of the way. You said you were looking at Menace?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the Boomtaz, yeah, Frenzied Rage. It only needs to give 1 power or 3 power to be relevant. That's kind of the heuristic we're using here. So like Madcap Skills is insane.
Yep, I was gonna say Madcap Skills
Like,
is good for us.
Oh, this is 1 mana Menace for Imposing Visage. Look at this shit art, dude. Oh my god.
This is such bad art.
Oh, it's even worse here. I hate this artist here. Phil, dude. It's not that I hate them. I don't like their work. This is old, like, just strange, like, I don't know. It's not my vibe. Okay, we've got that. Sticky Fingers, Tentative Connection. Okay.
That's really all it is. There's not a lot, but
Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we're probably up to some large number of things here. By the way, thank you everybody who is here in the stream with us. I really appreciate that you're here. And also, doubly so, I really appreciate that you all are leaving likes. Sometimes I'll get like 17 people in the stream and I'll say, hey, you know, if you've got a moment, just make sure to leave a like just to do the free thing. And it's not part of everybody's practice to do that. So I appreciate you taking that brief moment to let us know that you're enjoying the content. It really helps the algorithm. And furthermore, if you have friends of yours who you think would enjoy Pauper Commander, share the video with them, because one of the ways that videos go viral and one of the big measures of virality is shares. It's a big part of the algorithm. So yeah, if you've got people that you think will enjoy this, let them know and send them the link. It's super helpful for the content. Okay, we just added a metric crap ton of stuff. This is a removal spell.
I think the only other thing we really want to add is some more sweepers, and then we should get to cutting.
Yes, I agree. Evasion. See, the only other thing is that there's a couple more. There's a couple more modifications. Evasion. There's a couple more 1 mana pumps that I'm interested in playing too. Evasion.
Okay, yeah, we'll look at those.
Yeah, Evasion. Tigem Stripe is an evasion. And this is CMC equals 1 type aura O plus. Okay. +1/+0 and flying. Cloud of the Dominus needs to be in here. Even though we can't target our own thing anymore, I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Aki Warpaint is interesting. We have Essence Flare. That's a weird card. I just realized that Crown of Flames, these cards that return back to your hand, you can replay them over and over again.
Yep. What
Oh,
about
but it's the same as pumping. Pay 1 to return. Pay to put it in play is 2 +2/+2, and this is 2 mana to go play. Yeah, so yeah, not so much. Fur of the Bitten is another option because it's +4/+0 the turn we cast it. You know, +2/+0 isn't nearly as good as like in some ways like Hammerhand though. Like Hammerhand is you make something not block, you give +1/+1, right?
exactly?
Immolation can be a removal spell. Taste for Mayhem is kind of cool, but we're never going to go Hellbent in this deck. Unstable Mutation's kind of crazy. Hey, Derpy Panda, thank you for the really kind donation. I appreciate that for the 5-banger. And Derpy, just as let you know, Super Chatters can submit a deck to me to take a brief look at with whoever I'm co-hosting with. So if you want anything to be looked at briefly, get any impressions, thoughts, edits, things like that, I am happy to do so. But thank you for your financial support. I really appreciate that. Alex Scott says, I try to like everything. I really appreciate that. It's my practice. If I even remotely like a video, I know the work that goes into it, and I'll leave a like. It's just part of what I do. But I'm also a content creator, so I tip like a server would, you know, in a sense. Okay.
I have a culinary degree, so I tip like a server.
Yeah, good. We got Protection. Arcane Flight seems pretty good, right?
Yes.
Evasion. I think actually we're going to cut anything that's not granting evasion. I think these are cool, but like I just don't think we...
Yeah, I don't think we need the ones that don't give evasion.
Even though I just added them, I just think they're evasion, Veil of Secrecy, evasion, you come to a river. Okay, good. I think we're at a place where we can start to cut cards confidently. So
do we have any other sweepers that we want to add? Is the first question.
I don't think there are any.
Most of them are just 1 damage.
Yeah, 1 damage is not going to be good enough, as I'm sure you probably agree. I really don't like 1 damage sweepers in this format. I know there are some reasons to run them.
If I knew I was going to sit down at a table with 3 gut players, I'm going to run all of the 1.
Even gut though, you know, they play Inspiring Leader, and suddenly that card is just useless. Like, I'm not useless. You can kill the gut and then sweep the 1/1s, but it's like 2 cards, you know.
It's 2 cards, and then our guy isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good against TPI.
It would have to be, yeah, it has to be TPI,
Murmuring Mystic,
and that's
gut.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a few.
And I have to know that every person at the table is running a deck like that.
Yeah, you have to know. Yeah, it's got to be like a meta call kind of a thing. Like if you're
unless they downshift any of the uncommon ones that then say those creatures can't block this turn.
That's right.
If they downshift a single one of them, I'm playing it because it's evasion. It's another evasion.
Right. Yep. Derpy Panda asks about Infuriate. So I don't think we're going to play Infuriate, and the reason being is that Infuriate is nice because it's 3 damage. So that means we need 1 less spell to cast, because what that does is it's Infuriate puts us up to 6, and then the double prowess puts us up to 8. So the funny thing about Infuriate is that if we cast a double strike spell, then we're actually all the way up to 20 damage, which is good because it means that even if they soak damage by blocking, then they still die. So maybe that is relevant. But Infuriate's a one-time thing, and I think we can accomplish something really similar with these like Mirren Banesplitter type effects. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe Infuriate, but I just wish it drew a card, you know. Although 1 mana +3/+2 draw a card would be fucking stupid. Infuriate would go hand in hand with Brute Strength, which is +3/+3 for 1. You know, maybe those are good.
I understand where it's coming from, because our deck makes these things horribly undercosted.
Yeah.
It's actually 1 mana
+5
+4.
Well, it's actually 10 damage because if you double strike it,
Yeah, if you
right?
double strike. But like even without the double strike, it's a +5/+4.
Actually, it's more than 10. It's 14 with double strike because the double strike spell itself also a prowess trigger. So,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But by itself, it's just a +5/+4, which is horribly undercosted at 1 mana.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to cut Infiltrate. I think 2 mana
Go ahead.
for unblockability once is not good enough, whereas like Veil of Secrecy is also protection, and invisibility is permanent. So I think that's all good. We've got removal, and you come to a river. Protected Bubble is also protection, which is pretty cool. Tigum Strike is just going to be evasion. Okay, this all looks pretty good. This is probably glutted, like too much. Like Panic Spellbomb might need to come out.
I think we have to start cutting now, and
Panic
I agree with
Spellbomb
Panic
probably.
Spellbomb is probably a good cut.
Like Panic and Renegade Tactics are just better for cheaper. I like that you can play these out. You can just have them in play, right? Which is pretty cool. Let's cut other cards that are just really bad first. Like Updraft is 2 mana flying. We can get rid of that.
Did you add Magmatic Sinkhole?
I did. Did you see it? Yeah, there it is. I think we have too many removal spells here, so I'm actually gonna.
That's an easy remove.
I think we are gonna get rid of Sword Coast Serpent. You think Magmatic Sinkhole is?
I mean, it is like one of the better ones because it's 5. So I don't know.
And yeah, I mean, it might be. Oh, see, these aren't removal here, so we can actually take this tag off. So they are removal, but I call them sweepers, so I have a different section for it. So we've got 14. I probably wanted to get us to like 15 removal spells, is what I'm looking for. Total 15 total sweepers and removal. We don't need too much more than that.
I don't know. We might cut Scred and Frostbite.
Yeah, Frostbite. I think Scred probably stays. This one's pretty easy with the lands. Generally, it's almost always on. I mean, there could be argument to Volcanic Spite and a Fire Prophecy actually being the cuts, but it just depends on kind of where we end up, going with this. So let's see.
I just like that their removal that also draws a card.
Yeah, I agree. During those turns where we're like trying to kill somebody, that 1 mana might come in handy though. That's the only worry I have. Mirren Banesplitter. Now we talked about haste not being that good. What do you think about
Banesplitter? I think we cut Banesplitter and the other one.
And this Boots of Speed and Crystal Slipper definitely. Like we were talking about, I don't know that haste is like when is. Well, okay, no, wait a second. Haste does have a home, and that home is that you don't flip Gitaxian spell spear.
Yeah.
So say you recast it, and you need to just get a little bit more damage in, and you can't flip it. Cast it for 4, haste it, do some stuff, double strike it, hit for 8. Actually, that's a pretty good reason. So I like Boots of Speed in that case. Mirren Banesplitter is going to feel really bad to re-equip.
I think we cut Mirren Banesplitter. I think we cut the Banesplitter.
And so then is Dust Corona okay? Because if we give it flying, then it's unblockable, which is pretty cool. So it is evasion.
Dust Corona is really good.
Yeah, I like that card.
Also, not enough people play flyers.
Yeah, well, I mean they're friggin' insane right now, but yeah.
As a test to winning with Rilso with flyers all the time.
Yeah. Now I think there's another argument here to potentially cutting Cleansing Wildfire. We already have Boomerang.
I agree.
So this is the kind of tech that is good, but I just don't know that it's like something we have that premium slot for. Our deck is full of such insane cards that yeah. Okay. Okay, the draw spells here is where we're going to get a lot of cuts, I think. Maybe Thrill of Possibility and Tormenting Voice here can go. I think that these are potential cards, but I also think that I like my favorite ones are actually Careful Study and Faithless Looting in this deck. But Alex says, can you send links in Super Chat? It keeps erroring out. Oh, yeah, so you can't, unfortunately. Oh, you're saying in Super Chat. Oh,
No, you can't. If you have it set that you can't send links at all.
yeah, I don't, so, yeah, I can't. But Alex, if you do a Super Chat and you send me a link over Discord, yeah, we'll do it that way. Does that work for you? I know the link thing is funny. It's a way of gatekeeping bots from spamming shit in my chat, but it also means that you can't do that. So, anyways, yeah. So Cathartic Reunion can probably go. I think it's going to be hard to find 2 cards to pitch to this, so we can cut that.
While you're doing those cuts, by the way, I'm gonna add our lands.
I think Omen of the Sea. Yeah, that's good. You can start working on the lands. Omen of the Sea comes out. By the way, this is Evasion. I'll be checking Discord there for Scott for your message there, Alex, when you get that. Faithful Salvaging is Rebound. So let's take a look at Rebound really quick, because
there's not a lot. I looked. There's not a lot.
You know, Ojai's Breath though, icing something.
That could against the right deck just tap down their only blocker, just kill them.
Alex Scott's 5 with the 5-er. Thank you, friend. Says hot take, Spore Mound is really good. Spore Mound is really good. And because of that, we are going to take a look at this one. Spore Mound. This is a great card. I really like this. It's 5 mana, 3/3 fungus with landfall. You make Sapperling tokens. I've so rarely gotten to like go off with this card in CPDH. I used to, my first CPDH deck I ever built was Slimefoot the Stowaway. And so for you fungus enjoyers out there, I love you. Golgari rocks. Spore Mound is great in that deck, and I've just never gotten to go off with it. Everybody kills it every time I play it. I think it's just bad luck. And nowadays, since combo is like running rampant, I think I could probably get away with it better. But okay, so Stagger Shock.
Is this a study hall deck?
Huh? What's that?
Is this a study hall deck?
Probably not. I don't even know if it's an Opal Palace deck. The Opal Palace is interesting, though, because we can make our commander as a 4/4, and then we don't need to necessarily flip it.
Yeah.
We are an Opal Palace deck. I don't think we're a Study Hall deck. We could be. We could try.
There is a saucy land I did add. Soaring Sea Cliff.
Awesome. Flying, right?
Yep.
And power?
Yep. No, it's just flying, but no, Soaring Sea Cliff is just flying. The uncommon one is flying and power.
Okay, but there are actual lands that give us power.
Yes, teetering peaks +2/+.
Did you add that in?
Yes.
Yeah. What are our options there?
I know all of these lands very well. So
yeah, because these lands are really, really strong. So yeah, is this in the main?
Spire is good. Yes.
Okay, cool. The First Strike is good. Teetering Peaks is in. Opal Palace is in.
I don't know if Smoldering Spires is good enough. It's just comes into play. They can't. Target creature can't block. I don't know if it's good enough. The other ones we have are repeatable.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. Alex Scott says it's good to protect yourself from aggro decks. Just a 2/3 1/1s is really annoying to gut in particular. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Islan says, I did put Study Hall in due to your story the other day, Ryan, but also Opal Palace. I think we could do Opal Palace and Study Hall. I just think there's maybe a point where if Study Hall is so good. Study Hall is so good. I'm worried with Study Hall that like the pips is gonna kill us, is gonna be a problem. But Opal Palace is like we pay 1 more, and if we've cast it twice, so if our commander dies and we get Opal Palace, then the next time we cast it, it's +2/+2, meaning the commander comes out as a 4/4, which is out of bolt range, and it's much, much less concerning. Goblin Wizardry is in line for that, Alex. Yeah, Goblin Wizardry is a cool card. I'm not gonna play it in this one, I think, because it's really all about the Spell Spear in my mind. So you got the lands in there. Are you making cuts to the lands as well as you do that?
I'm going to in a moment to add those the Snowlands as well.
Izzet Charm seems great here. Isline says, but I decided to not put a ton of creature token makers. Yeah, I think that that's correct. If you want to do creature token stuff and you want to like buff them up and do prowess things and all that stuff, like you should play a Livaan. But if you're playing this, I think you're all in on the Spell Spear. Ramp, protect the Spell Spear, kill players, that kind of thing. I don't even know if this is a Trinket Mage deck yet. There's actually a lot of really good Trinket Mage hits. Bonesaw is a really good one. Leather Armor is really good.
I was saying earlier we had.
Holy shit! No, it's amazing.
I literally said when we weren't even done adding things that we had like 12 1-drops.
I'm gonna cut Pyrite Spellbomb. Just Aether Spellbomb is enough. So now we're down to the removal number I like. This is 16. And we got the ramp I want. Protection here, probably a little much. I think Keep Safe can go. Keep Safe can go. Although Keep Safe can protect our auras. That's kind of funny. Or like a stealth suit. It's interesting. It doesn't target other people's stuff though.
I've cut our mountains down. The mountains you put in down to the amount.
Good. Okay. Yeah, that's solid. Got command performance, expedite, bitter reunion, crimson west. I think this is fine. We're actually going to add boots of speed to that.
We have 39 cuts, by the way, so far.
Yep. Yeah, we're at 35 more is what I'm seeing here.
Yep. Oh, I just have to reload.
Oh, 39. Okay, there we go. There we go. Sweet. Okay, so other cuts. There's a real part of me that thinks that graveyards aren't our problem and that Relic isn't a card we need.
I agree.
I don't often say this, but this is not a mid-range deck. We're not a toolbox deck. We do have answers to things. We're not stone cold, but like leave the graveyard to somebody else. And graveyards are not even like a big part of the combo scene right now. It's mostly auras and untappers. So yeah, I don't think graveyard hate's needed. It's cool that we can tutor it off Trinket Mage. I really do like that. So maybe that's reason to put it in. We could also play Tormod's Crypt instead. Tormod's Crypt is a 0 mana pump.
Yeah.
I kind of like that a little bit more. Oh boy, we've got so many cards to cut. We don't even have like the traditional draw spells like Treasure Cruise and Gush in here yet.
Now here's the question. Is the main board counting sticker sheets? Does Moxfield separate that correctly or no?
I think it does. So okay. You're saying that maybe this is accounting for some of the cards? We could try cutting one of them and see.
We have 12 sticker sheets. Yeah, I was about to cut one.
Maybe First Strike.
I think we cut First Strike.
Okay, so that didn't change the number at all.
Okay, so then it is accounting for them as a sticker board.
What did you think about Protective Bubble? 4 mana, unblockable, and Shroud. It doesn't give any power.
I don't like the Shroud when it doesn't give power.
Yeah, if it gave power, it'd be a different story.
I like Norik Spellsuit because we can do it at instant speed. That's the
reason
why I like it.
But its unblockable is like pretty huge, which means that all we need to do is buff its power by just casting shit, right? We don't even need to like cast. Yeah. We could like target our opponent's thing with Temur Battle Rage to get the buff we need. But I hear what you're saying, and it's 4 mana. I mean, it's a lot, so that one goes.
It's 4 mana. We can't. It gives Shroud, and it's not an instant speed Shroud.
Yep. I mean, same goes for Whisper Silk Cloak, but I think that's still a reasonable point.
Whisper Silk Cloak though sits on the battlefield and doesn't screw us over when it doesn't 2-for-1 us.
Yeah.
When they kill the spell, when they kill it in response.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, don't want the 2-for-1s. Okay, Panic Spellbomb is gonna go. Flight Spellbomb is gonna go. Arcane Flight seems great. Panic and Redicate. Okay, those are good. Invisibility is just unblockable permanently for 2. That's pretty good.
Hammerhand?
Hammerhand could be the cut. Yeah, that's the cut. You know, Panic and Renegade Tactics, they do cantrip, but holy shit, do we cantrip already? So
I don't think
much.
we need them. I don't think we need them. Especially not renegade tactics. Especially not renegade. Like,
Well, Panic is worse.
yeah,
Target creature can't
yeah.
block. You can only cast it
Panic
during
is horrible.
combat. Draw
Yeah,
a card
yeah.
next turn.
Cut them both. Cut them both.
Okay, get him out of here.
Out of the deck.
We're getting ruthless. Um, we've got the like Cloud of Feathers is infinitely better, I think, right?
Listen, if we're not playing Get Probe, we're cutting Sorcerer's Sight.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so we got some ones like See Beyond. Think Twice is. Oh, we don't have deep analysis in here. We definitely want.
Yeah, we need deep analysis. I was
Yeah.
gonna say it earlier and I completely forgot.
Yeah, deep analysis is good. Only like we're almost always gonna just cast this from the graveyard because we loot a little bit, right? Um, but it definitely needs to be there. Do we like Wedding? Yeah, Wedding Invitation is draw a card, unblockability, so it's basic, and that's great. I like that. Force Away is good. Cartouche of Knowledge is great. Serum Vision's op peak. Okay, so we have a lot of peak effects, which probably are probably a big source of cuts, right?
Very much, very easy cuts.
Yeah, I mean, they are easy cantrips, but man, it's like just looking at everything else. I mean, part of this is kind of interesting because like things that give us buffs are oftentimes like really unnecessary because we already have trample, so we already have evasion, so and we have double prowess, so like we don't need to cast that much to like kill people, which means that there's a part of me that looks at cards like that give any amount of power, and it's like, but why? Like, but why? Like even Dragon Mantle, like
power on some of them is good, like Madcap skills.
yeah, but even Madcap skills, any double strike spell after that is
Lethal.
20 damage.
It's literally lethal.
Yeah, it's gonna be lethal. Maybe the idea is to think about we don't always have double strike, so that's part of the thing.
Yeah, we need to really that's what I was trying to say earlier with the 1 mana 3+3/+2. We don't want to think about double strike. We're not gonna get it. We're not gonna always draw it.
Yep, that's true. So we do have other ways to give power. Neodust says, cut the sticker stuff. Stickers are lame. You know, stickers are lame, but we're not going to cut the sticker stuff. And the reason being is that these stickers, Double Exalted, Ward 2...
Typically not cut them because you were asking.
Target creature can't block this turn. This can't block this creature. Although this one actually is another one that we can cut.
Oh, yeah, that was the one I was going to cut.
Bushido 2 is unblockable. Menace is like very hard to block. Vigilance is useful in the deck. Lifelink...
Bushido 2 is also unblockable if they have menace. If we give it menace through some other way, because it's at minimum getting +4/+4.
No. Yeah, Neodust, I totally understand. The sticker thing is like, it sucks, and I hate that we have to have a sticker sheet, but like, I think it's good. I think we need to.
Agreed, Alex. An agreed possibility. It's Blank Goblin is so sweet. I play Legacy Goblins. That card is, would you like a free Muxus?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We're making good progress here. Down to 134. Good progress is in kind of making progress. We don't even have counter spells in here, really. And we're going to need some of those.
I don't know if we need a lot, though.
Is Awesome Presence doing anything?
I don't know. I don't know if we need Ancestral Anger.
Oh, yeah. So just +1/+0. +1/+0 not being good enough, essentially?
I think so. Because all it does is +1/+0. I mean, it draws us a card, but how good is just...
Because we already have Trample. I mean, +1/+0, draw a card. Maybe that's not good enough. Yeah, it's kind of funky, isn't it?
Yeah, because a lot of our other draws that do that are like cartouche of knowledge. +1/+1 flying draw card.
Yeah.
Our artifacts are +1/+0. Stick around until
Dude,
you
crash
need them.
through. Trample until end of turn. We don't care.
Yeah, we can crash through.
What about Dragon Mantle? It's a cantrip, and we can sink mana into it to do fire breathing.
I like it as a late game like. It's a mana sink.
We like don't have to cast spells basically to like attack.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We can hold up. We can hold our blue mana up for like counter spells and stuff, and just all the red into Dragon Mantle.
Warlord's Fury is first strike. I think that's pretty good. But even then,
I don't know.
we're bigger. We're just bigger.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing about that I'll ever say about Warlord's Fury is it makes our other creatures attack.
But we don't have other creatures, so there's our
really. Like the one creature we'll probably want to stick on the battlefield is the what's it called, the flying dude with prowess and gets a guy back.
I forgot about Tolarian Terror, by the way.
Do we want Tolarian Terror?
I think it's a blocker, yeah.
Yeah.
And Serpentine Curve.
Yep.
Every time I've played Curve, this card comes down, I give it unblockability, and I just kill somebody with it. It's the second copy of our commander. Okay, there we go. And we don't even have hard evidence in here. We don't have counter spells yet. Man, it's going to be tough to get this down to less. What about Awesome Presence? This is not technically unblockable. It is 1 mana. It's functionally very hard to block, right? People have to hold up a lot of mana for this.
Hard evidence is in now.
Okay. I think I'm going to cut Awesome Presence.
Yeah, I would cut Awesome Presence.
We don't want to give our opponent the choice. Sticky Fingers, to be honest, is kind of on the chopping block in my mind.
Cut it.
Yeah.
If we're at this point where Sticky Finger is really fucking good in this deck, but there's way too many other good cards for us to not cut it.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, chat, that you're that you're on the right track when you're cutting good cards.
Real like one mana menace, really good card.
Make treasures, yeah, it doesn't give any power, which is part of the problem I don't like. Part of the thing I don't like about it, whereas like the Beat Stick does, right? But it is just 1 mana. I mean, it's very, very, very efficient. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We might be wrong on that, but and with double strike, it's very sick.
We might just add it.
Yeah, we might add it back in.
We might edit it back in by the end of the.
What about these? Like both of these are ways to like, Bitter Reunion and Expedite Crimson Wisps.
I was about to say, Bitter Reunion I think can get cut, and Crimson Wisps.
Yeah, I just don't know if haste is really what I need to change the view on this. I find grid to be really, I know this might be helpful for you all, but I need to see things like top down so I can start seeing the quantities. Because yeah, like holy shit, this needs to go down. There's so many.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. So
we can cut from draw. We can cut from draw safely.
Yeah. Like Think Twice is not a good spell. Fists of Flame. Okay. How many cards do we need to cast with this for this to be good? Like if we draw a card for turn, we draw a card with this, and we draw another card off a cantrip, it's +3/+0 draw card.
Which is enough.
Yeah. The fact that it itself draws a card.
Yeah, it is good enough because like we've said, all it needs to be is +3/+0 for it to be good enough.
Right.
And that's this plus another spell.
Yep. So I cut Bitter Reunion because of the three, it's the only one that doesn't that's like it, like the boots is like the expedite and the crimson wisps. Just they're going to draw you a new card, whereas the
Bitter Reunion also does it the wrong way, and I hate it.
it's a rummage. And so boots of speed gives power.
Clairvoyance.
So
Clairvoyance.
clairvoyance. Let's see where. So sorceress sight, clairvoyance. These are the 1 mana look at people's hands type stuff.
Sorcerer's Sight's already gone. I cut that.
Which one?
I already cut Sorcerer's Sight. I
Oh,
instantly,
good.
when I read it, I was like, we're not running Get Probe. We're not running Sorcerer's Sight, which means we're also not running...
And we are running Get Probe, right?
We are. You already said we were... Oh, we are running Get Probe.
Yeah, we are. We are. Yep.
Get Probe, you know what? Get Probe's fine because it's 0 mana.
Yeah, that's exactly why. That's why it's fine. Portent is interesting because Portent is not on the turn where we necessarily need it. Right? It's like drawing a card next turn.
Yeah. I don't know if we like Repeal.
I don't know that I like that. You said Repeal?
Repeal.
Hmm.
Portent. I don't think Portent is good enough.
I cut Portent. Oh, we don't even have Intervene. Intervene is very staple. You absolutely play this card.
I don't want to cut Spite or Fire Prophecy because they are good enough removal.
Yeah. But we can go down on removal a little bit. We can go down to 15. Do you keep putting Fiery Cannonade and Breath Weapon back in removal?
Every time I reload, it puts it back there. So let me remove it on my end.
Okay, cool. Yeah. See if you can do that on your end. it keeps doing that.
I think it's because every time I have to reload to see what you're cutting.
Okay, got it. So yeah, we can cut Repeal potentially. Repeal is kind of an expensive.
Here, I'm gonna do this the easy way.
Let's go Repeal out, and we do need to have Boomerang. That is one card I will play in just about every blue deck. It's pretty hard for me to find a home I don't play this in. So let's get Boomerang. Boomerang, of course, for those of you wondering why Ryan do you play Boomerang in all of your decks? Because Boomerang hits lands, and lands need to be hit. And it's basically Echoing Truth. It's the same thing, but it hits lands. Speaking of which, Echoing Truth is our 4th sweeper. This is just going to be removal. Yeah, actually, you know what we're going to do? I'm actually just going to do this just because in this deck, there's a certain number of removal spells I want.
I just did it the easy way. I just removed the spells and re-added them.
Okay, I'm actually going to remove the sweeper tag for this. And we're just going to put all of it under removal. And that's just fine.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm changing my mind. I'm spastically returning back to the old ways. So we still have too much in here.
I removed them from the deck. It added them back in the removal tag.
Yeah.
Thanks, Moxfield.
Yep. We've come full circle. We can cut 2 of these. I think the ones that we never cut are so like Fiery Impulse and Frostbite could both come out.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Down to 15 is fine. We're a very proactive deck. Fire Diamond is not a protection spell. Veil of Secrecy is, in fact, however, Evasion. Okay, cool. So now we're down to 25 cuts, 33 draw spells. We have so few blockers in this deck. We don't have Gush. I don't think Fathom Seer is going to make the cut if Gush isn't in the deck. Let's see.
I agree with that.
Actually, this creature package here looks pretty good to me.
Are we cutting Crimson Wisp?
I haven't cut them yet, but we could cut Crimson Wisps and Expedite and just leave Boots of Speed.
There's also one more thing in haste. Cloud of the Dominus.
Oh, you're totally right.
And Cloud is actually like Cloud is like Boots of Speed. It's a good haste enabler because it gives a bonus.
I guess there's a part of me that's just wondering, like, are there going to be instances where we run the commander out and we immediately suit it up and try to kill somebody without flipping it on like the second cast? So maybe it dies and then we bring it back, we haste it, we get in and we clap somebody, just because we have prowess. It doesn't have trample though, right? Like this doesn't have trample unless it does.
No, it's trample prowess.
I mean,
It just loses. It doesn't have ward and another prowess.
yeah. That's the only thing that worries me about like cutting these, but I guess maybe that is kind of a losing state. I will say Goblin Electromancer is starting to look kind of bad. There's a lot of spells here it does not reduce the cost on, so we're going to get rid of that.
Yep, agreed.
You know what, we probably need Academy Wall.
You know, I was looking at that. Why did I not bring that up when I was looking at that creature?
We need this card for sure. It's just so we don't die, you know. Even the wall, you know, pneumatic wall is like probably something we should run. Like this is looking dangerously low on creatures, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I kind of agree.
Let's cut Crimson Wisps and
Cards to cut. Nah. Brain.
Brain.
Brain is a really easy
Brain.
cut.
Which one? Brainstorm?
Brainstorm's an easy cut for us.
Yeah, we're not going to be shuffling a whole lot, are we? Yep. Considering, yeah. Okay, Dust Corona. It needs
we can cut salvage, faithful salvage.
A faithless salvage. Yeah.
It's a rummage. A rummage. Sure, it has rebound, but it's a rummage.
It's kind of a bad card, to be honest. I think what is going on here? There we go. I think this faithless salvaging card, it sees play in certain formats, but because it allows you to get the phoenixes back from the yard easily to get a free spell. Islane says, I'm on 10 creatures. I want more, but I feel you. I want more spells. Yeah, and the thing is that even if I wanted more creatures, I want those creatures to, like, give me a card back. I don't want them to just be, like, goblins or something. Right?
I mean, you could have them just be goblins if they're mind goblin.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, like, the only one. It's, like, the only... It's just a goblin that I'd run because it's a goblin. We already have a sticker board. It's
right.
It might be giving us a lot of mana, but it's just to have a body on board and then here's some free spells. But I don't know if we want it.
Yeah. Man, all of this is I'm looking through here and trying to find where the cuts come from. So we have 16 protection and counter spells. We have 15 removal, 9 creatures, 30 draw. But a lot of this draw is tied up in other stuff that we're doing. You know, it's like that's one of the things we've got a lot of overlap there. So it's
I'm about to say something extremely blasphemous.
Okay, hit me with it.
This is extremely blasphemous.
Oh boy. Cruise. Oh boy.
This is so blasphemous. I feel so wrong saying this. But there's so many times where we're not actually going to be able to delve it.
Are we really though? Look at our curve, bro.
I mean, it feels so bad to be stuck on that card though.
It does, but I don't know. We got lots of looting. I'm not touching Treasure Cruise. I appreciate that you're leaning into the blasphemy, and it's really important. Chat.
I think we've got to lead into the blasphemy to make cuts of this.
Yeah, and chat, it's really important to be able to slaughter your sacred cows, but I think that this deck with its curve as low as it is, it's filling the graveyard. We're going to be fine casting it, but we are going to have to cut some cards that I like and you like. So,
listen, it's not blasphemy to me, but we could also cut, like I said earlier, Scred.
Yeah.
Fine, we gotta find something, and it's
Dragon Mantle.
Dragon Mantle. I was about to say Dragon Mantle is getting cut right now. I have no idea.
What about Fist of Flame?
I mean,
honestly, I'm just not sure I'm worried about like us getting enough power.
I kind of agree. Yeah, Fist of Flame goes. And Force Away.
Hmm.
We always activate the Ferocious, whatever, unless we're not flipped. But when are we not going to be flipped? And like Force Away, what are we bouncing? Unless we're going against combo, like what are we bouncing? Really?
Stuff that's trying to kill us?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Blasphemy here, Alex says, haste is not where we need to be. I'm actually in agreement with you.
No,
I think
we're already on that.
well,
Haste
I mean,
is...
we were, but I still had boots and speed in the deck. I think you're right, Alex. Like
literally, I think the only haste things we need, the literal only haste card we need in the deck is Clout.
But it's for different reasons.
It's for different reason. It's a completely different reason.
Maybe we cut one of these.
Which ones? It's okay. We're gonna go on that Blasphemy Whisper Silk.
Yeah. Dude, Whisper Silk Cloak is so expensive.
Yeah, that's and it's Blasphemy, but I think it needs to get cut from this deck.
Unblockability is nuts, but
it's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's 5 mana. It's 5 mana.
yeah.
5 mana and unblockability. We have how many cards here give us evasion less than 5 mana?
And Islane mentions, I don't think Flywheel Racer or Springleaf are good enough. So here's the thing. Flywheel Racer and Springleaf Drum are awkward in the deck, except for the turn that you deploy it. I really like...
I agree. I will agree on Springleaf. I will not agree on Flywheel Racer that it is not great in the deck. It is amazing in the deck.
Maybe Ornithopter needs to come out, and then we keep Springleaf and Flywheel.
I agree. I'm fine with that.
I think Springleaf is going to often be not something we can tap because our commander is going to be attacking, and that's all we'll have.
Yep.
And that's kind of weird, but like turn 1 Springleaf, turn 2 Kenra, holding up Hexproof, like intervene, Hexproof, turn 3, we'll be able to flip it, I guess. But then we flip it, but we can't attack.
And I like Flywheel because
I mean, I think Islane's got a point. Maybe we're just playing rocks on 2.
It could be.
I think it's Ornithopter actually is the one. I mean, Flywheel has the ability to be activated, crewed, and then
Flywheel has the
we're attacking every turn though.
Yeah, Flywheel's main thing is if someone edicts on the turn we cast our commander, and we have it in play.
Yeah,
like that's Flywheel. That's Flywheel's thing.
Yeah, I think it's fine to cut. We have to just accept that we are a creature light deck and that we're gonna get punished by some shit. I think Ornithopter can stay because it is just a 2-mana rock that's making a mana of any color, and all of these cards are frequently going to come down and on turn 2. And I think we want enough of these that we can turn 2, play one of these, turn 3, open up with 4 mana, play our commander, and protect it. I think that's really good.
And you know what? I have no problem when our commander costs like 10 mana, playing an Ornithopter of Paradise and giving it a fucking Madcap skills and killing someone with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with that. You got no flyers, you're dead. Sorry.
Alex is asking a really important question. Are we really into removal? Player removal is removal. And then Islane responds, I think you want some removal to get bigger cheat threats like Gurmag Angler, etc. Yeah, so
seen Gangler.
Well, the big threats that we need to worry about, a lot of them, if you return them to hand, they're pretty obnoxious to like redeploy. Like Dargo is pretty obnoxious to like redeploy. It's expensive. It's not going to have haste a lot of times. Gurmag Angler, nobody really wants to have to recast that. It's slowed down a lot. So the bounce spells do that. It's like the bounce spells are like tempo, very flexible tempo. Scott says, but we're playing unblockable a lot of the time. Yeah.
The main reason why I like our sweepers, breath weapon, and fire cannonade, is they do nothing to us.
And swirling sandstorm.
We just need sandstorm still kills us.
No, we just cast one more spell and we're good.
Yeah.
And this thing will kill everything in play, which I love. I love that this just gives us a reset button.
It kills. The only thing it doesn't kill is like Rashad Al-Bazir, the toughness based deck.
Yep.
It might not kill that deck, but whatever.
Maybe we want to cut like 2 cards out of this. We're really close. We're getting there. Magmatic Sinkhole we don't necessarily need because we have Echoing Truth, Boomerang. We have this for big stuff.
Yeah, we don't need Magmatic Truth. Sinkhole.
And we can cut one more.
Lightning Bolt.
What are you talking about? Crazy.
It's a 1 mana that doesn't do anything else other than 3 damage.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, there would be an argument for playing Magmatic Sinkhole instead. Because Magmatic Sinkhole actually kills a big thing. But so does Sapphire Charm, Boomerang, Echoing Truth, Force Away. You come to a river and Swirling Sandstorm. Bolt is kind of meh. Let's take this moment to appreciate that we're talking about removing Lightning Bolt from a deck. We've already removed Brainstorm. We're not playing Gush. Yeah. It's just like whenever you're building a deck, you really need to be thinking about the context of the deck. This idea that there's staples in this format is rarely true. There are so few staples.
I like Fiery Prophecy and the other one.
Yeah.
And Volcanic Sprite over Lightning Bolt because they draw me a card.
Yeah, they're replacing, they're turning something that is not action into action, which I think is good. Now the cheapness of the spells, like you can see that like we're 1 and 2, everything is 1 and 2, and so it's okay, you know, if we cut Bolt. This is almost never gonna kill a player. So 13, I'm okay with this. I don't know why 13, maybe 12. Well, okay, no, 13, I know why. 10 removal spells, 3 sweepers. 1 in 3, yeah, so that's good. 1 in 4 of our removal spells that we top deck is going to be a sweeper. And we have a lot of cantrips, so.
And because you're stuck on playing Scrub.
Yes. Yep. I prefer buffing power on my commander over Bolt. The 3 damage to face is irrelevant. Yeah, it's irrelevant in this deck.
Exactly. It is. We are a commander damage deck. If we were playing Spellslinger, we play it. We are not playing Spellslinger.
Yeah. A braid is pretty good in lieu. Oh, we don't have a braid. You know what? The reason we don't play a braid though is that a braid is like kind of a mid-range card. A braid is taking responsibility for a cranial plating or a whisper silk cloak, and that's not our problem. Whereas these bounce spells can hit things that target our commander. They can hit really problematic stuff.
When our commander gets too much mana to cast, that bounces our commander in response to them killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, a braid is
many a time with Rilsa. I'll
bounce it.
Give me some way to bounce it so it doesn't. Yep.
Yeah, no, Alex has said I hate saying not my problem, but I think part of what we have to decide is that when we aren't playing mid-range, we do actually obfuscate responsibility onto other players. For certain things, and not always, but not every deck. But
unlike regular CEDH, there is multiple different deck types, so we can do that.
Damn, we don't even have days in here either.
No, we don't have a lot of.
Our counterspell. This is scares me. I think actually there's a part of me that thinks.
Listen. I'm gonna say blasphemy.
Edicts.
We don't. Yeah, edicts. But like the problem is, we both play Rilsa and Passageway Seer. The amount of edicts that we run in those decks, no, we'd have to fill the deck with counter spells to stop edicts. And you know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we'd have to be on Seller's Bane levels of counter spells to stop edicts.
I mean, there's got to be a place where we can cut though, like invisibility maybe.
We could cut invisibility.
I mean, invisibility is really close to like aqueous form. Oh man, these are some really tough cuts here. If the counterspell is free, I start salivating. Yeah, I understand why you would cut days, Islane, and I think that's like very defensible. And I think like Ward 2 is right on the edge of being like days territory. It's kind of yes, kind of no. And I'm not generally a fan of days unless I have like Ward 3. Ward 3 is where days starts to become really good.
Word 3 is where I'd play Mana Leak.
Yeah.
That's 6 mana. Pay
Well,
6.
and actually,
Pay 6 more mana
Mana
on
Leak
top of
is
your.
good in this deck too.
Oh yeah, 5 mana could be good. Yeah.
Let me just take a quick look here. I just need to see what the counter spells are that we can play because I'm really feeling like we need to have more counter spells. I'm very concerned about the edict type problems we may run into.
I was about to be blasphemous and say deep analysis, and then I remembered we can forcibly kill the combo player. That has to think through most of their deck to get to the combo. Oh, you've got 1 card in your left in your deck. Please die. Like,
yeah, please boop.
it's like everyone has countered your stuff, and you couldn't go off, and you have 1 card left in your deck. Draw 2 cards.
Miscalculations also interesting. I don't think we need that though. Oh boy.
Here's the thing. You're now reading counter spells, and you're going, do we need it? Do we really need it?
There's really only one that I like there, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
That's
this
what
one.
I was trying to. That's what I was trying to say.
It needs to be
Once you start reading
splashable
them,
because the
yeah,
double blue stuff is really problematic. You could play
and
memory lapse.
and the double blue stuff is the best stuff.
There is one. No, even that one doesn't work. Negate. Yeah, that's the other one we're missing here. We do need negate.
Negate,
Yeah,
we run
good call there, Alex. I appreciate
Negate's
that.
fine.
Yep. And actually, what we'll do is we'll cut something from here, like Mizium Skin is the worst of these.
Yeah, I agree.
But these
I
one
agree on
mana
that.
ones are so important, man. It's just like really hard for me to stomach that. We don't even have Trinket Mage in the deck right now, dude.
We cut Mizium Skin
Fuck.
because like dive down and shore up are just better.
Yeah, but it's the density. Maybe we cut Confound. And I mean, Confound is nice because it targets other people's stuff. So I think we cut Mizium Skin, which feels
Confound
just
is
so
great.
fucking weird. But
Confound is great because it counters into.
what you see here, chat, too, is that we're really valuing dynamic spells over non-dynamic. So we have like Intervene can counter your opponent's stuff. Confound can counter your opponent's stuff, as well as ours. You see a guard approach can tap down blockers if we need, as well as hexproof. Shore Up is going to give us power. Veil of Secrecy. Unblockability.
Dive down saves us from Swirling Sandstorm by itself.
Saba Cryptomancer is Edict Fodder and hexproof. And it puts a counter, which is actually pretty sick too. That's actually like one of the better spells.
Listen, the counter is the whole reason I put Forger Heroes in the deck. Forger Heroes doesn't sacrifice itself and always puts a counter on your commander every time it's on the battlefield.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I am a little leery on it, but
I know,
we could try it.
Colorless
mana.
Having tested it. So here's the thing I haven't told you. I've been testing this in Rilsa. And it is a fucking hose in Rilsa because it makes her 6 toughness.
Yeah, 6 toughness. Death Touch is disgusting. Super strong.
People will pay 5 life to Pestilence. People will not pay 6 life to Pestilence.
Right. So something I'm seeing here is that Wedding Invitation. Well, wait.
Yep. Wedding Invitation.
So yeah, part of what we're seeing right now here is tough too, is that a lot of these effects are overlapping, right? So we're getting multiple effects from one card, and they're starting to interlock in a way where it's like Like Disrupt probably needs to come out. I like this card, but it's just
Not
such a
bad.
meme. Such a
I
meme.
think if a card doesn't fulfill multiple things,
Yeah,
it's very viable for cutting.
yeah, yeah. Um, Even Raking Claws is a draw spell because you can cycle it.
And cycle it. Yep.
Yeah. I don't really like Ponder. I think Ponder stays. Ponder Preordain
Yeah, I was
are
gonna say
really good.
ponder preordained serum visions. It feels like blasphemy, but like
Serum Visions is the worst of all of them.
yes,
Dude, we have 14 spells to cut. We're just gonna start here. Holy
we're
crap.
we're gonna start
Is
cutting.
Trinket Mage good?
We're causing blasphemy right now. Give me 1 second, and I will let you know. Start making cuts, and I'll check.
Trinket Mage, Bone Saw, Beat Stick, Ceremonial Knife. Okay, Ceremonial Knife. Are we real about this? This is like really cool, but like,
No, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it,
yeah,
cut it
cut
right
it.
now.
Even, okay, no, Beat Stick's really good. Menace. Is this good?
What?
I know this is the first card you got excited about, but it's 3 mana for +1 power and Menace. And when we deal damage, we get treasures, which is cool. And when we double strike, it's very cool because we get 2 treasures. But it's also kind of like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
mean,
if we wanted to push damage, we could push way more damage with that.
Cut it. We could cut it.
I hate it. I hate that we're cutting this. And
really
and the
do.
reason I asked that is because Trinket Mage doesn't look like it's going to make the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there needs to be, like, we get Aether Spellbomb is good. We get lands. You know, we can find Bone Saw.
With our cuts, I need you to know, with our cuts, before cutting Ceremonial Life and Beamtown Bootstick, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not counting the cards that we're cutting.
For what?
So
Aether
hits.
Spellbomb,
Leather Armor, Mantle of Tides, and Bone Saw.
Yeah, Bone Saw is 0 mana, +1/+0, equip for 1. So
that's all of our hits on Trinket Mage. Trinket Mage does not go in.
yeah, if we had like
cut
Bone Saw.
That made it better.
So the funny thing is that Bone Saw is actually better than it reads. Bone Saw is 2 less spells that you need to cast on the turn that you go. And it's 1 mana. Because +1 power gets us to 4, and then +2 for the spell is 8. If we cast any double strike spell, that's 3, 4, 6,
consider?
8, 16. So if we have any unblockability on top of that, maybe Bone Saw. So Bone Saw is fucking insane. Okay, here's the thing. When we think about Bone Saw,
Okay,
part of the thought is like, is this actually an issue to like getting big?
Bone Saw is fine. If we're cutting Beamtown Bootstick, we cut Bone Saw because I would every day of the week pay 2 more mana for fucking Menace and making a treasure.
Well, but no, I think I disagree on that. And the reason being is Bone Saw is only 1. Beatstick is 2 more mana to deploy. And yeah, you get the same amount of power. So I understand why it's good, but I think like Bone Saw is a superior card. But the question is even Bone Saw gonna make the cut? Because Bone Saw,
I'm not disagreeing that it's.
I don't. So here's my thing. I don't think we're gonna have trouble casting enough spells to kill people.
I don't think we are.
Like,
I think we need.
Which is why we're playing this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because it doesn't matter. Oh, you countered my spell. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like whatever.
I already got my prowess trigger. I do not care that you countered my spell.
So then Mantle of Tides?
Yeah, it was the weakest. It is our weakest. Of all of our equipment, it is the weakest equipment.
Yeah. The difference being that something like Madcap skills is just absolutely huge. 8 power right on the bat, and it grants evasion.
Yeah. Leather armor stays, I think.
Yep, I think leather armor stays.
It puts us on that cut because it's 0 to equip, first of all. Second of all, it puts us to, even if we...
Doesn't give power.
But if we can equip it to the non-flipped face and actually have some sort of protection on it
I don't know if
for
that's even
0 mana.
meaningful.
It's mainly because it's 0 mana.
So we
It does.
play it out on turn 1. We play our Kenra. We equip it. But I don't even think we're going to play Kenra on turn 2. I
Why
don't see
not?
myself playing Kenra on turn 2
I also
almost at
don't
all.
see myself playing leather armor on turn 1. I
Huh.
see myself playing leather armor when I'm going to trigger prowess. And then equip for
Leather
0.
armor might be the cut here. I mean, it's kind of yeah. I mean, it's funny because look at this. We have 6 counter spells and we have 9 protection spells. And how many of these are permanent? 1, 2. Only 2 of them are actually like permanent sources of protection,
Protection.
and they're
I think we
shroud.
need. I think we need the permanent sources of protection. That's the big thing.
But leather armor is really.
Leather armor is just middling. I think we were
Oh
running it
man,
because we
yeah,
hadn't gotten to counter spells yet.
yeah.
We hadn't done anything else yet.
Yeah, I think leather armor is basically going. And when we talk about like this process of cards coming in, cards coming out, we added counter spells, and we're basically taking out leather armor. So
I moved it to considering.
yep,
Beamtown.
we have 8 cuts,
Considering
7 cuts. Let's
ceremonial knife.
Oh man, this is starting to get really tough. Is it more removal?
Feels so bad cutting Beamtown Boomstick.
Yeah, it really
feels
does.
so bad.
I really hate that we cut it, but it is what it is.
But if we're cutting Sticky Fingers, we cut it.
Let me see something.
7 cuts.
No. 7 cuts. Wow. We have 27 draw spells, but they're almost all of them are
In multiple places.
Yeah, they're layered. This is in violet. We're not touching this. Maybe
Which
Ornithopter?
one? What is in violet?
In violet, mean like we're not touching it. But I
which one? Because remember the screen is
ramp.
a little bit delayed.
Oh no, you should look at your Discord. Don't look at.
I was looking at it and it doesn't show you.
What?
I'm not seeing anything.
It should be my camera. Click my camera.
Nope.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh chat, I made the mistake. Oh chat. Okay, y'all get to learn with me here. When you have Discord up, when you have Discord up, if you are on OBS, if you have start virtual camera engaged to where it says stop virtual camera, if you open Discord, it will crash Discord. If you engage the camera on Discord. Okay, so we've all learned this now. Good talk. So we're back. Let's make sure we get you here, there, like that, and then we gotta go back to the Discord co-host video, and we're gonna go. Oh man, it really messed everything up here, chat. One sec, and then we're gonna finish this thing up here. There we go. Yes, he's back. Okay, so what I need to do is go stop virtual camera, turn on camera on Discord, OBS input, and then I need to go here. There we go. Yeah, Islan says, we love streaming. That's right. It's a little shit like that. Is it really Archaeomancer? So Ornithopter of Paradise, Archaeomancer. Man, that feels bad. But, I mean, cutting creatures? Oh my god, this is madness, dude. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that we're getting into territory where we just like can't block. Like, what is that even? I don't know. I'm not generally a fan of decks that are incapable of like deterring violence. But well, what about flood? What about flood? Oh, here, one sec. We gotta get. Thank you, Islane. I appreciate that. One sec. We gotta get your audio back here. There we go.
I have the video.
Bingo. Hey. Okay. Thank you, Islane. Appreciate the heads up on that. Alex says, "You know what I'm about to say, Papa." Oh God, this is gonna be hard. Be a man, cut a land. Okay, you know what, chat? The thing is that he's not actually memeing that hard. Because our curve is we have currently over 60 spells that are 1 and 2 mana. And the truth of the matter is a lot of them draw cards. We can cut a land. Don't do this though. This is not usually what you want to be doing.
Never
cutting lands is like.
But we are, as I was saying, what they couldn't hear is we are a deck filled with blue spells that isn't a blue deck. We are a mono red deck playing blue spells for protection that wants to go so hard and so fast they can't do anything.
Yeah, so in Cantrip, Islane says, "How many lands are you at?" I think I ended at 33. Yeah, Islane, that's exactly where I landed to. 33. Man, Archaeomancer, fuck me, dude. Bloodwater Entity. It's funny. It puts it on top of our library,
but
it definitely puts people on notice.
It's a better creature than Archaeomancer.
But maybe we're not playing either. I don't know. Man, it's just like going down on fucking creatures.
We cannot cut both. Archaeomancer we can cut because it's 4 mana. Bloodwater Entity is another, just another creature that we can kill them with, just like Serpentine Curve.
We can't really kill people with Bloodwater Entity. I mean, we can, but...
It has Prowess 1 and Flying, and is a 2/2. We could. There's not a lot of flyers.
Okay, so let's get real here. We got more cuts. Before we cut from this, I need to know... What do y'all think about Flood, chat?
I don't like it.
This is not probably going to keep us from dying from the things that... It's not going to stop us from dying to go wide, which is like how this deck is going to lose.
This deck loses to Inspiring Gut, Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, which kind of suggests that we try to kill them first.
Exactly. Those are who we're killing first.
Yeah, and then we've got counter spells and removal to stop the combo player, which is a similar pattern in Sailor's Bane. So there's a couple of cards that feel like extra here, and one of them is Madcap Skills, the other is Dust Corona. Islane says, this deck loses to darkness. Emotional damage. Echoing Truth helps. Yep, nudge Ryan. Flaring Pain. Flaring Pain definitely is a card. This is so funny. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the cards that I'm looking at, like Wedding Invitation could potentially go. Although Invisibility...
We keep coming back to Wedding Invitation, so I think we just cut it. We keep coming back to it. If it's a card we keep coming back to, there's a reason for it.
Yeah. Okay, so Wedding Invitation,
also,
we're so close.
Is double blue. Get it the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get it the fuck out of here. I think that we have a lot of evasion, and we have a lot of ways to find it. I think we can cut those. We keep Tigum Strike, even though it's 4 mana, because this card represents a second way in the deck to say, you're dead, 2 players.
Yeah, because it gives +4/+2 twice.
Alex giving the badumch here with the, I guess we aren't getting invited to the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. 2 cuts. Jesus. Dust Corona's 1.
Dust Corona is Magical Christmas Land.
How many flying effects? 1, 2, 3. 3 flying effects. in the whole deck. No, that's not true.
Or
There's more. We have Cartouche of Knowledge is also
we
Evasion.
have Leap, Arcane Flight, Cloak of Feathers, Sapphire Charm, Cartouche of Knowledge. I think
We
that's
have
it.
15.
Flight effects?
15 evasion effects.
I was talking about just flight. Flight, we have
Yeah.
we have 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5.
So reload. 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I missing one?
Sapphire Charm.
Oh, Sapphire Charm 5. Okay. I
think we can cut Dust Corona.
Yeah. Okay. Dust Corona. And Alex mentioned Faithless Looting. I think that Faithless Looting and Faithless Looting and do we not have? Wait. Oh, we have Careful Study. I think both of those are going to be really good because we cantrip so much, and cantrips are going to be, 30% of, a third of them are going to be lands, and we might not want to draw a lot of lands, and just having this effect there seems great in this deck.
Do we consider?
Well, do we like Opt? Because Opt is a worse version of Consider.
I don't know. I actually don't know if we do like it.
I even have to mention too, by the way, Bloodwater Entity over Archaeomancer is so fucking telegraphed because it puts it on top of our library, dude.
Yeah, but then we have.
We have ways to cantrip into it, but then it's the same mana cost. So why wouldn't we just play Archaeomancer?
Because Bloodwater Entity is a 2-mana, is a 3-mana flying prowess creature.
Islane, you're pointing out Frantic Search. Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, that's a really good card.
God damn it.
Yeah, no, we're playing Frantic Search. This is a stupid card in this deck. Yeah, nice call. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we cut another removal spell. This feels really bad. Like 13. One thing we have to remember is that when you cantrip a lot, you don't need to, it's actually evasion. We don't need this much.
Okay, so what do we get rid of?
Quite frankly, flying is a lot less good than unblockable. But they do draw us cards. Both of them do. All three of them do, except for Sapphire Charm. But Sapphire Charm does a lot.
Doesn't draw a card.
Yeah, they all draw cards. Those ones do.
Arcane Flight does not draw a card.
But it gives +1 power, but it's probably not good enough. Okay. So one more cut.
Remember what we were saying earlier? If it gives +1 power, it needs to draw a card. +3 is our cutoff.
And flying when we have trample is super huge. Yeah, we're really down to the last card here. And fun thing, this is only a $30 deck, chat. Although we're gonna have to put
it's about to not be.
Yeah, because Scred.
You don't want to cut Scred. I say the last cut is Scred.
You think Scred is the last cut?
My wallet says it. Because I don't own a single Snowland.
Alex says 32 lands is looking mighty fine. All right, we're at 101, so let's take it into playtesting really quick and just see how it looks. Like, this looks super reasonable here. We've got 2 lands, we've got a rock, and we've got protection. So we'll draw for turn. We'll play out our rock, and we'll pass. Hopefully we get another rock, because then we can go Signet, and then the next turn we bounce with Boiler Works. Okay, we didn't. So we'll float this. We don't need to float. We just play this. And then we have to discard to hand size, which is sad. But we probably discard Scred. Because Raking Claws and Cloud of the Dominus together is lethal.
Yes, it is.
This is a lot. Oh, we have to remember, we've got perfect mana right now because these are all mountains. We only have mountains in the deck. So we'll just say our mana is perfect for the sake of argument. So here we can actually go, if this is an island, then we actually do run out Spell Spear, and then we have a Spell Pierce up. So say we play this, we also can play, so what we do is we probably play this out, and there's two options. If everybody's tapped out, I just play Clout right away. If not, and I think that's what we have to anticipate, although it is this is turn 3. Turn 3, run out Clout. Let's just do it. We run out Clout, we get the trigger, so this is 5, so we hit for 5.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to presume that nobody has edicts, because obviously that's a problem for us. Now that does dick Raking Claws, but it kind of doesn't matter as much. So we go 1, 2...
Tamur that we just drew.
It also makes both of these bad. We could always cycle this, though. So what we do is we go 1, 2, cast Izzet Signet, tap this, transform it. So now it's a 5/5. And then we hit for 5 again. And then we pass turn, and now this is where Faithful Saluting feels like shit. I hate Faithful Saluting in these sorts of scenarios, but we're going to cast it. Cast it, draw 2.
By the way, the last turn, what you should have done would be Boilerworks for the Izzet Charm for the thing. No, we can't keep mana open no matter what. Yeah.
So we pitch Artful Dodge and Teamer Battle Rage. So we are seeing the Shroud here is making us slower, but it's also very safe.
Yeah.
Because like, look at this. This thing is.
Worry. That was our worry.
And it's actually it's making this bad too. Holy crap! Like, in fact, look at this hand. None of these cards are playable right now.
We need to cut Clout. We cut Clout. It's not the right deck for it.
Yeah, we need to be able to target our shit. So, I mean, the same thing goes for, well, Spell Suit we can actually take off of our commander. Right?
Yeah, that's a big deal. We can move it off the commander. We can't take this off.
Yeah. But like Spell Suit, if you equip it, what do you equip it to take it off?
Huh.
Wow, I think that actually kind of tells me everything we need to know about that.
Yeah, we just take it off. We get rid of it.
What's a card that we just cut that we can bring back in? Maybe a protection spell.
Boom down.
So like, oh, this is 1 mana unblockability.
What?
Infiltrate?
Oh yeah.
I mean, unblockability is like less important to me in some ways than because the unblockability doesn't give a ton of power, doesn't give really any power, and it's almost like we need a balance here of like things that give us a big boost of power because we don't always have double strike, and things that give us evasion. But the thing is, actually, you know what? The deck needs probably more things that give us power because we already have evasion. And what you're seeing here is that we've prioritized evasion a lot, mostly because a lot of them are also drawing us a card, right?
I agree. I think we do need to.
So, but see, there's not a lot of red buffs that draw a card.
I don't think we need it. I don't think we need the draw
like Fists of Flame. Let's do that.
We don't. Yeah, put Fist of Flame back in.
Yeah, Fists of Flame is like +3/+0 probably.
Yep.
Right. Okay, cool. So let's try that. Oh, Reckless Charge. Oh, holy shit.
Oh.
Yeah, Alex, that is such a good recommendation. That's actually a lot better than... well, I don't know that it's better. You know what I want to do, actually? I want to bring in Reckless Charge. Because, look, Reckless Charge, the haste is cool. But the real reason, it's 1 mana +3/+0 twice. This card is, like, in a whole class of its own. Like, they don't print cards like this anymore.
Charge is
this is nuts. Yeah.
No, get it right. It's +5/+2.
Yeah, that's right. It's +5/+2.
It's insane for the even cast like our commander makes casting it at 3 mana actually worth it.
Yeah. Now we're at 101, so we just need to cut some unblockability effect. What's the worst one we have here?
Did we cut Clout?
Yeah, and the other one. Okay, let's just run it at 101 and see how it feels, because I want to get to playing this. So this hand is playable because of the dispel, but very slow. Maybe that's fine. We have our lands. Oh, okay, that's not slow anymore. So we're gonna go 2, and we're actually gonna wait. And actually, here we can go Spell Spear. Or we could go, we could also go, yeah, I think we play Spell Spear. Oh, you know what No. We don't play Spell Spear. We play Felwar Stone, and here's why. We have Forge of Heroes. So we go that, and then we untap. We go Forge of Heroes. Tap 1, 2, 3. Spell Spear gets a counter. And then we have 2 mana up.
Yep. Forge of Heroes. Good card.
And the crazy thing is we can just go... I mean, the fucked up thing, chat, is that this is lethal if we flip it. By a lot. By just so much.
You like Forge of Heroes now?
Well, Forge of Heroes isn't playing a role in this, right? This right here would have been lethal with or without Forge of Heroes, but this is cool.
Yeah, but anything lower than Reckless Charge, and it would have been, and with Forge of Heroes it is.
Right. So what we could actually do here is we could chip in. But the thing is that the amplification of these two cast together is so important. So what we do is end step, we go Consider. And we're going to bin this. Yeah, we're going to bin it. Because we actually want to cast this Treasure Cruise someday. And then we're going to draw for turn.
So, a good thing to show here is without the Reckless Charge, the Timur Battle Rage plus Tigem Strike. If we didn't have Reckless Charge, Forge of Heroes +1/+1 counter makes Tigem Strike the equivalent of Reckless Charge.
Is there a way? So we pay 1, 2, 3. We're going to pay this as well. And we're going to turn this over. And it's a 4/4. And then we probably go 1 for... So let's see, if we had 1 more mana available, so if we play this, then there's no way to execute a kill here. Like, without exposing ourselves to enormous risk, right?
Yes, but that's also a risk, I believe, one of our higher risks in this deck. There's the chance that we have to kill on this turn. Say it's a combo deck that looks like they're about to win.
But
we go for it. I think we go for it.
Oh no, I would.
Otherwise, if it looks like the combo deck is literally about to win next turn, we go for it. We kill them.
Yeah, if they've no mana up,
everyone else is going to help us kill them.
If they have no mana up, but then the other thing is that once that combo player is dead, then everybody fucking handles us. They just take us and they stick our head underneath the water until the bubbles stop. And I don't want to be that player. So I feel like this right here is the turn where we go careful, where we actually where we leave this in hand, and we go 1 mana, careful study, draw 2, discarding Reckless Charge and land. And then we go Mystic Sanctuary. Do we even want Mystic Sanctuary here? We do, but we're going to hold it. And then we go, and we're 5 power, and we go to combat. We just hit somebody, and then we save this to protect our thing. End step, and then return here. So now we can kill somebody. Right? We go 1, 2, 3, 4 for... Actually, no, it's more simple than that. We go 1, Reckless Charge back on top. 1 Shadow Rift. Double power here. Draw this. Pay
Come
1.
here,
Reckless
Samir.
Charge. Up
We don't
to...
need your reckless charge.
Oh, we
We
don't.
don't need reckless charge because the Shadow Rift plus the counter
Oh.
plus battle plus
TBR.
Battle Rage is it. That's why I like
Lethal. We
my,
have...
my friend. I had no idea about Forge of Heroes.
Oh, wait.
When I was building Squirrel, my friend turned me on to Forge of Heroes because it's just
We actually we put Dispel in hand. That's what we do.
Yes.
And then they go to stop us and we Dispel. Okay, so they're dead. Somebody's dead. There's a good chance that like our commander dies there, unfortunately. But we go that.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this. Put it into play. Counter on it. This would be so much better if it was Opal Palace.
We have 7 cards that we can also
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We also can cast the Treasure Cruise.
We actually can cast Treasure Cruise right now, but I'm gonna wait till next turn, I think. Yeah, so we go there. Oh, that's a great draw. Now we go, let's see, 1. Which ones do we want to get back? 1, 2, 3. Is there anything we cast now? Yeah, so let's...
Reckless Charge is the thing we keep in the yard.
Yeah, well, we also have free stuff, though. This is free. Cloak of Feathers, draw a card. Oh, and actually, you know what? We want to... Oops, sorry. We want to go here, pay 1, 2, 3, flip this, because we want the double prowess.
Yes.
So that, and then we pay 1 for... we could... Oh, wait, 1. So we do everything but Reckless Charge? Yeah, 1, exile everything.
Reckless Charge in the yard because it can be flashback.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking it might be nice to be able to get the TBR back, but we already had Mystic Sanctuary, so we cast that.
Another way to get it back, and it's a creature.
2, 3, okay. And then we go Arcane Flight, trigger, draw, and then we go to combat. Somebody tries to kill it, and we go Seba, Cryptomancer, put the counter on this, hit somebody for 9. I don't know if it survives that next turn right there. That seems dubious. But say it does. We go land, pump this up to 6. We go 1, 2, 3.
Remember that we have 3 mana protection currently. We Echoing Truth our own creature that cost 1.
Yeah, that is a thing we could do. Yep. We're flashback Reckless Charge 1, 2, and then 11. And then we go Taigam Strike for 1, 2.
Taigam Strike wins it, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's 15. So. Oh, actually, you know what? We've got 2 counters on it.
Yeah.
16. So yeah, unblockable, dead. It probably dies, and then Taigam Strike is exiled. You just got to be realistic here about that.
We've just killed 3 players. The game's over.
That's true.
That was the 3rd player.
So Alex says, so think of this. The only player who would remove you 1 is the one you're attacking. Yeah, I think that's true. Although people should always know that if you're fighting against Kiln Fiend, you always kill the Kiln Fiend at sorcery speed because you never want to feed them more triggers on prowess. So you always want to do it sorcery speed. So, I think after you kill somebody and you dump your load on them, then somebody else goes hee 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 and they kill your commander, which is one thing this deck will struggle with. There's one reason, and actually we don't have it in the deck, but dude, Soul's Fire, or Soul's Fire would be pretty sweet in here.
Fling.
There's also Fling. Yeah, but Fling. Fling, yeah, maybe. Gravitic Punch is another option.
Yeah, just anything like that.
So I think we're at a good place here. I know we're at 101 cards here, but that's okay. I'll go and make a cut later on, and that's fine. I think
We need to do lands.
we can
Let's do it.
yeah, we don't
Let's
need to
do
do
lands.
lands. I can do lands later on my own. It's pretty
Okay.
self-explanatory for the most part. Islane saying Soul's Fire and Gravitic Punch. I run those. Yeah, those both seem like good cards. Soul's Fire in particular because it hits any target, but Gravitic Punch. The only thing is that a lot of the deck is built around double strike. So one way to look at Soul's Fire is basically like murder that can also go face. It's very similar to what's it called? Massive Raid in Izzet the Third Path Iconoclast. Massive Raid deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control, and it's 3 mana, and so it's basically murder. It's going to kill something, or it goes up top and it kills somebody. And Soul's Fire is pretty damn good. That's probably a card we ought to have in here, but
I like Gravitic Punch for this as
it's
well.
we don't have as much mana as I thought we had, which I'm kind of sad about.
Yeah.
I really wanted this deck to have 10 mana rocks, and I may need to, like many of these Let's Build videos, I may need to come back and make some edits to it because I don't feel safe, and I like decks where I feel safe.
Oh yeah, I watching you play test that. I did not feel safe at all.
No, no. It's not as ponderous as I want it to be. I want it to be a bit more purposeful, and it feels a little too hectic. So this is a good starting point, but I think there's some tuning that needs to be done involving like 1 more land, 3 more rocks, and maybe more counter spells. Alex says I'll sit on stream for another 2 hours for edits. I know you will. That's great. I love it. I love the dedication there. But we are approaching almost 4 hours, and my brain is starting to melt, and I need to go and eat and do some other stuff because I've got work tomorrow. But I think with that, we're going to start wrapping things up. I do want to thank everybody who stuck around super long for the stream and enjoyed all of the ADHD shenanigans and the difficult cuts and difficult decisions. I really appreciate everybody's feedback. The Frantic Search was a great call. There were just a lot of really good recommendations on your part. So I really do appreciate everybody joining, especially you Lane. You've also built the deck, and having you on here, Praxiya, who've also worked on the deck, it just really increases the quality of it. And I hope this is a good resource for everybody who comes in the future.
Yeah, it looks good so far.
Yeah. And I appreciate you giving your time too to come on and talk about this with me.
Of course.
Yeah. Couple other things I want to cover is I just want to give a huge and warm shout out to all the people who contribute to this channel to make this possible. And what that looks like is support through Patreon. So I want to read off the names of all the people who financially support the channel, like many of you did today with your one-time donations. I really appreciate that. And just share the love for what they do, because without them, I think Clay and I wouldn't have felt that validation that we needed to push forward and to, make this content. We're basically doing it mostly on our own dollar because we love it, and it just feels great when people reach out and let us know that what we're doing is something that they enjoy. So Zach, Scooby, Chris, Tristan, William, Paul, Corey, Derek, Devin, Ian, Bobby, Jin Shooting Star, and our longest running patron, Noyark. Thank you all so much. And if you too are interested in joining the Patreon, I'm going to pull up a little tab here so that you all can see exactly what that looks like. We have 5 different patron tiers, all the way from $2 a month, half the cost of a cup of coffee. Every month gets you access to the exclusive Discord channels. It also, right now, currently, it gets you early access to our videos. There's no distinction between these two right now. It's just for somebody who wants to donate more. At $10 a month, you get a huge jump in the value where you start getting access to all the interfaces that I'm using here on OBS. So if you're looking at this interface that you're seeing right around my head and all the other ones that I use, if you too are wanting to do streaming, this is a great way to plug in right from the get-go. It's a plug-and-play system. So you also get to vote on Let's Build for Commanders. That'll be a once a week thing. You get a member shout out, And in general, it's just a great way to support the channel. And then for those of you, you beautiful whales out there who someday may show up in my life, we also have these other levels here where you can really up the ante and even get access to individual coaching from me. So without hawking too much more of this or getting into the financials, it really was a great time today, and I appreciate everybody who came and joined us for this live stream. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. So yeah, thanks for everybody for coming in. Connoisseurs of Fine Common Cardboard. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are, and we'll catch you on the battlefield. Peace.